Welcome to Big
Welcome into Sammy Sue's Barbecue for the Big Z Sports preseason preview show for 2026. Joe Geckler and Robbie Anderson, joined by head coach Jason Wallach, brought to you by Alton Health Systems and Kind Company. And coach, year number 26 for you, year number 14 for me here with Big Z Sports, and it seems like football comes so fast anymore. I was talking to the guys over the table before we came over, and I said, it feels like we just got done with softball. Football starts, and then it's going to be December before we know it. You know, it's how fast the season goes.
It does. I heard an analogy. Someone told me an analogy. Life is like a car, right? You're 5 years old, it seems like it's going 5 years. If you're 80 years old, it feels like you're going 80 miles an hour. It definitely does. Time flies by. You're right. It seems like yesterday, it was starting to be off season. Kids excited about 2026, and here we are.
So 26 years for you at the helm of Garraway. We talked in the offseason about all the changes that's happened at the field and in the school, and for you as a program. You know, kind of reflect on the past 26 years and how you have developed such a good program year after year.
Well, I mean, you can, if you really want to go back to those sour days, I guess. Back in
reaping the benefits now,
yeah,
right?
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. In '99 and 2000, I was an assistant coach under Matt Motice, who, just throw a word out to him, who just passed away, and was a long-time coach in the area, a lot of years at Garraway, and then in 2001 when we took over, it's different. I get here in 99 and we've got a cinder track and wood bleachers, and we're dressing at the school, and so things have really changed from that sense. With great community support, people who love Garraway, love Garraway sports, Garraway athletics, love the school, and when we just like this year when we needed a new press box, you go out and you talk to some people, and we're very fortunate again to have the donors that we had to throw up a beautiful new press box, and we've been there with the field, with the field house, with the scoreboard, with new tracks. I mean, we're very blessed. I say it every year to be able to be involved with such a great school system.
Absolutely. Coming off another great season last year, let's talk about 2025 one last time. You fell to Kirtland in the regional championship game, and you're so close to getting past that hump of the Kirtland Hornets, but reflect on that season a little bit. Your seniors that you lost, and a great group of kids, and you look back on another successful season for the Garraway Pirates. Obviously, eventually you want to get over that hump a little bit.
We're trying.
Yep.
We're trying, and you're right. I feel like we're getting a lot closer. But you look back at last year, we started out slow. I say we started out slow, but we won our first 2 games against lesser opponents. Our schedule really didn't challenge us early, and unfortunately we get into week 4 or week 5, whatever that was, and we played Girard, and some things were exposed, and I think with our great senior leadership, with 18 quality seniors last year that we lose and have to try to replace. But those guys held us together. We made, some changes, and our kids really bought in, and we were playing our best ball at the end of the year, and it was a lot of fun. We thought coming in last year that our defensive line, offensive line would be our strengths. From the year before, we had those three guys returning up front, and I think we played one series together. In fact, we were just watching some scrimmage film today from last year, and even in our scrimmage, we didn't have our full defensive line, and so we had them week 1 for about a series, and then never had those guys again and to play together until week 10 against Ridgewood.
Yeah.
So it was great to get those guys back. We got healthy at the right time, and we were able to make a good run.
Sure.
And I feel we again this year that we have that capability. If we can make the tournament, being in Division 6, that we can make a great run. But we got to get there first. So. But no, we lose 18 quality seniors, some great kids that really bought in to our program, and even when they were hurt and guys weren't on the field, they were still great leaders and encouraging and helping out, coaching those kids along, and it's just it's very blessed.
Absolutely. If you look at your offense from last year, pretty balanced. You scored 31 touchdowns through the air, 31 touchdowns on the ground. You ran the ball for about 145 or about 145 yards a game. You threw it about 180 yards a game. So a pretty balanced offense. As a coach, is that kind of what you want to see out of your offense week in and week out?
It is. When you talk about the past, we were wing T until 2008. So my first 8 years, we were wing T, and we never threw the ball. And then we went through the little time frame there, in 2008 till 2016 probably, where we never ran the ball.
Yeah.
So now, it's we've had a great mix. When you've got kids like Dylan Sunland and Matthew Fry and some, you've got some of those kids that are quality running backs. You got to utilize your strengths, and we just feel it makes us harder to defend when you're able to run the ball, throw the ball. I really feel like we can change tempos. I think we can go fast. I think we can go real fast. I think we can go slow. So I think that, makes it a challenge for teams to prepare for as well. So anytime you can be balanced, we'd love to be 50-50. Last year it just worked out that way. We were almost 50-50 all the way across the board, and, we hope to continue to be able to do that as well.
You kind of brought it up a little bit earlier with that three-headed monster up front. I always talked about it. Week 10 to that regional final game. How badly you're going to miss them this year? Is these guys different guys going to fill in? Got playing time last year since some of them were hurt.
Yeah, we. To answer that part of the question, Robbie, no, because all their subs last year were seniors too. So, but we'll be very inexperienced up front, both sides of the ball. Last year coming in. We thought our lines would be our strengths. We had we were very young, inexperienced in the skill position, where this year we feel we're just the opposite. I think our skill has tremendous experience. We've got some really good. We feel we've got some really good skilled players. We've got to stay healthy, but we're trying to develop those linemen, and those kids have really worked hard in the off season and really developed. They're very coachable. We're really excited. We could be really big. This could be the biggest team that we've had. When you look up front, and you're 305 and 295, 285, 265.
They're big.
We're big. We're really big. If those guys pan out for us and they can stay healthy, and we got to get there.
We got to get there. Right? Yeah.
There's a lot of butts.
Coach, you look at your offensive line. You really have one starter coming back, and Alex Hampshire. He's the senior. How has his development helped with these younger guys and his leadership up there? How has he helped, kind of get this group together?
No, Alex is awesome. He's a great leader for us. Like you said, he's really our only returning starter. Bronson and Ryland both started at the beginning of the year and then went through some injuries, towards the end of the year, which allowed Alex to step into that role.
Sure.
And he took advantage of that opportunity last year. And Alex is a good kid, comes from a great family, smart kid. We wish he was a little bigger. He's a small guy on the line, but Yeah.
He looks like the running back on the line, right?
Well, when you put him up to 305, 295, 285, and 265, yes, they are. He looks like the little guy, and he is the little guy.
Yeah. And if you look at your defense a little bit, Coach, you lost a little bit on the D-line, like Robbie mentioned, but you lost a couple linebackers as well. But you're filling in nice. You got a nice secondary back with Wyatt Reifenschneider back there leading kind of your secondary. A couple linebackers with Wyatt Gordon and Thomas Grimm back there. How do you feel about your linebacking core coming into the season?
Well, I just feel, we lose those guys up front, but we've got guys at each level behind that have got, tremendous experience. You mentioned Wyatt. He'll be a 3-year starter for us at safety, so that always helps when you've got your quarterback defensively as a 3-year starter. So, but no, those guys, we feel our defense can be really quick. We're not going to be real big on the defensive side of the ball, except for our linebackers. Our linebackers are bigger than our defensive line, but those guys move well. So we're excited. We just feel we've got some unanswered questions for sure, but we feel that this will be one of our quicker defenses. They're the new kids that are, we think will fill in have really improved from week 1 of camp to our first scrimmage last week, and we're really excited about those guys. So hopefully those guys can play well, give us somewhere to stand, and allow our offense to catch up. Our offensive line, just with their inexperience. So,
final question, Coach. Quickly touch on 7 of your opponents this year were in the playoffs last year. Talk about your schedule and what can the Pirate fans look for?
Well, we got to be ready week 1 with playing Canton South. They've been really good. They've been in the playoffs. You got Dalton week 2, who we faced in the regional semifinal last year. They would have been a regional final team probably if we don't knock them off. Norwayne, who's made long playoff run, state championship. Zanesville, Division III, who's getting better every year.
New coach, right?
Yeah. A bigger school. And then, you throw in Girard in week 5, who was a regional semifinal, or regional final team last year in Division 5 with everybody back and some transfers in from Ursuline. And so our non-conference is going to be brutal. Our whole schedule is brutal. I mean, you get into the IBC and listen, there's no weeks off there either. I mean, Indian Valley, Claymont, Ridgewood, Tuscan Valley, Sandy Valley. Tuscan Valley's getting much better. I know Sandy Valley's, they're trying right now. They might be struggling a little bit, but you look at our schedule. I think, Joe, we talked about it before. We play 1 Division III school, 3 Division IV schools, and 5 Division V schools. So the only school that we play that is our size is Dalton. I think it's about a 12-boy difference. They're Division VII. They dropped to Division VII this year, but they're a really, really good quality program that's played in the state championship just a few years ago, and they've got everybody back from their regional semifinal team. So our schedule is going to be brutal. I believe it'll prepare us very well for the second season if we can get there. That'll be the challenge. Win enough games to make the tournament, but we feel if we can get into the Division VI tournament, we can be one of the better teams in Division VI. But we know as a staff, we know as a program that it gets harder and harder to schedule guys every year, teams to schedule every year. We've talked about it the last 3 or 4 years. When you have some success, teams don't necessarily want to play you. It's tough.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. Listen, I'm all for playing. A couple good teams to help prepare you and find out. That's why we scheduled Girard last year, to find out where we're at, and it's going to help your program and make you more successful, because that's where you want to get to, is when you're playing good quality programs. And the problem is we're still a Division VI school, and we're playing a Division IV schedule, but you just hope that you can win enough games to make the tournament.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got to get off somewhere with the family, and coming in and giving your time again to Big Z Sports, as you always do. And, every game this year we'll get to see you. So, Big Z Sports fans, Garraway fans,
Robbie,
you got to see
Robbie
every
it wasn't
week.
bad when I saw him once or twice a year, but
every game.
man, how are we going to handle that one?
So, Big Z Sports fans,
I'm excited. You
the
guys
Garraway
do a great
Pirates
job.
on Big Z Sports all season from Game 1 to Game 16. win. That's what we're hoping for. And, Coach, go get them. We'll see you here in about 10 days.
Appreciate it.
Jason.
And again, thank you guys for everything you guys do. It's tremendous to give our kids who put in so much time and dedication and effort into the program to you guys are a part of that.
We appreciate that, Coach.
Yes,
and
thank
again, Coach Jason Wallach joining us here on our Big Z Sports Preview Show live from Sammy Sue's, brought to you by Altman Health Systems and the Kime Company. We'll take a break, come back with our next coach right after this with Big Z Sports.
Altman Health System has been caring for our community for over 130 years. This includes 24/7 emergency services, heart care, surgery, orthopedics, radiology, cancer care, and more. We serve 7 counties with community locations, including Altman Hospital, Altman Alliance Community Hospital, Altman Maslin, Altman Orville Hospital, Altman Tuscaroras Regional Health, and more. Altman Health System. Today, tomorrow, and always. We're here for you.
We invite you to discover Kime Home Center in Charm, Ohio. Kime is your destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. From renovation and building projects to custom millwork needs, our team of experts work with both homeowners and professionals to bring your vision to life. Visit Kime Home Center in Charm or online at kimehome.com. Kime, built on trust since 1911.
Hi, I'm Zach Motice with the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency. For all your auto, home, farm, and business insurance needs, contact our team at the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency or stop in and see us at one of our 3 locations in downtown New Philadelphia, Sugar Creek, or in Strasburg, providing excellent service to the Tuscarawas Valley since 1885. Everyone here at the Tuscarawas Insurance Agency would like to wish all area athletes good luck this season.
We're back here at the Big Z Sports High School Preview Show, brought to you by Haas Auto Body. We're at Sammy Sue's Barbecue. Bill Hammerstrom, Travis McClellan. We're going to be calling all the games for the Dover Crimson Tornadoes on WJER Radio, 100.9 FM, 1450 AM, WJER.com. We're alongside Matt Reese, the head coach for the Crimson Tornadoes. Coach, how you doing? How's the season, preseason so far?
It's been okay so far. It's exciting. Our kids are excited. Our coaches are excited. That, for me, just that rejuvenation of, being out on the field, and again, just seeing the excitement to be playing football again. It's been a good preseason for us.
Coach, we're in the summer doldrums, we'll say, the hard part of summer two-a-days. How are you keeping your guys motivated? How are you guys spirit, effort-wise, and those types of things?
You've been through a two-a-day.
Sure,
I've been through a two-a-day, and you deal with the ups and the downs, but you try to, throw some shake-ups into practice to change things up, change up the routine. The weather did that for us this week. So,
sure.
We were dealt some thunderstorms and stuff, but the kids handled it. We talked about adversity and things like that, and sometimes we just have to flip the switch and make a quick change.
Yeah.
Let's talk about last season real quick. Your first as the head coach for the Dover Crimson Tornadoes. Ended strong, maybe not the record you would have liked. What did you like as your team grew throughout the season last year, and where you start now?
You said the main word is growth, and I've said this before. You're going to hear. You'll hear it from me every time you talk to me. Is growth, and so we saw that. We took what we learned through the season into the off season. Took that into the weight room throughout the winter, into the spring, and into the summer. And so again, we're bonding and building as a team, and that's been one of the main emphasis is the team concept.
Coach, we're finally in the league officially. You played a good portion of the league schedule last year, but now we're in the league. What's that do for your program that you're in a solid league right now, and the OCC is very competitive?
It creates a lot of different aspects. From a coaching standpoint, typically you have some consistency. You start to know the kids. You start to know the coaches, and you start to know the opponent. It also adds that component of, you're playing for – you're not just playing for a playoff berth. You're playing for a conference title now, which we haven't had in several years.
Sure.
So that adds a little different motivation as it relates to the conference.
Travis said it. You have a conference schedule, but you played most of them last year. I think your new teams are Lexington, Mansfield Senior, and then out of conference you added Louisville to the schedule. Tell me about those 3 teams that you didn't play last year that you added this year.
Yeah, I mean, as far as those 3 opponents, they'll be well-coached teams. You know, and like I said, I'm excited to play them. I'm excited to see the different competitive edge each of those schools have, and so, you know, it's always nice when you see a new opponent because it does add something a little different, something different to prepare for. But you know, again, it just adds that level of excitement to our schedule.
Yeah, you got the very difficult schedule. That's going to prepare you for tournament time. Your away games, looking through the schedule, is going to be very difficult. You're going to Steubenville. You're going to Lexington. I don't know if you've ever been to Arlen Stadium in Mansfield. I'm sure you have. It's a beautiful, nostalgic stadium there. So your away games are going to be a little different feel for some of your kids this year. That it's going to add a little something, I think.
It does. I mean, you know, aside from the travel and the distance, I've been in Mansfield and seen the stadium. I've seen it on film. It looks like a beautiful place. We're excited to play there. You know, we've been down to Steubenville to play there, and it's always an exciting atmosphere as well. Lexington will be a new one. I've never been there before, but again, you know, they're a competitive program. You know, playing at home, that gives them a little bit of that competitive advantage, and so we're looking forward to that opportunity to compete against them.
What about the opener? You have Glen Oak at home. You played them last year. They have a new coach who you're probably pretty familiar with over there. What's your scouting report this early in the season for Glen Oak?
We know they're going to be a well-coached team. And like you said, I've had the opportunity to coordinate against Coach Dennison. He always does a fantastic job. And like I said, his kids will be well prepared, you know, by the time we get to next Friday night.
And you had a scrimmage already. I think it was Alliance on this past Friday. What did you like out of that scrimmage?
Offensively, I liked our execution. You know, we were able to spread the ball around. I liked our execution. Defensively, I liked that we played with excitement. We played with energy. And the word that I keep using is passion. You know, we played with passion, and so that's the one thing that we want to see consistently. I talked to our guys today about, you know, I learn a lot about a team as we look at what's the change from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2. And so I highlighted those things that went well. We talked about and coached the things that we needed to correct, and hopefully we see that change from scrimmage 1 positively into scrimmage 2.
Coach, a little change in rule. We talked about this a little bit off air, but you're obviously in year 2 of being the head coach, but you're not overseeing the defensive coordinator position this year. You brought a veteran back on your staff. What's this role change going to do for you?
It's actually been kind of nice to be able to observe more, and so I mean I'm still coaching a position.
Sure.
I still coach our outside linebackers. I said I can't go away from doing that.
Sure.
But at the same time, it allows me to kind of, as a head coach, you do a lot of administrative work at times, so focusing on some of that. But again, focusing more on the big picture as opposed to just being
looking at it from 10,000 feet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
You have had a lot of sophomores who contributed last year. That means you have some guys who are going to maybe set, you know, close to all-time marks for your program based on how they performed as sophomores. How do you look at that sophomore class as they move into this junior year for the Tornadoes?
They're a tight group, and not only are they a tight group as juniors this year, but they're starting to bring in and build that team component to them. You know, we have a freshman that's going to be starting for us at the varsity level, and they've done a fantastic job of bringing him in and making him understand he's part of this team. And the same thing with our sophomores and our seniors. They get along really well. They mold and gel really well, and again, that's an exciting aspect for me as we look at, you know, football in general. Sure. It's a team sport, and you have to play as a team.
So this is year 2 for you again, you know, and so your offense and defense has been in for a year, you know. So what are you looking for? You averaged over 28 points a game offensively. You got a lot of skill back defensively. You have some great components back there. Your leading tackler from last year. What are you expecting from your groups as far as that second-year leap?
Again, you know, because so many of them were young, there is a lot of room for growth, and we do have those skill players. And you know, one thing that I've said is getting them to become more students of the game. You know, they were able to use their athleticism last year, and we were able to make a lot of plays because of that. But again, getting them to understand more of the big picture of the game, and not just like, hey, I'm a football player, but being able to sit and watch film and understand why a team's doing something the way they do. You know, and throughout the course of a game, pick up some of the little nuances that, you know, you start to pick up when you're either more experienced as a player or you become a coach. And so I've started to see some of that with some of our guys that have gained experience.
All right, Coach, I want to talk to you about your team leadership. Last week I was at the Gibbs Lane Lemonade Stand. They're raising money for the Tuscarawas County Humane Society. I think they raised $4,500 for that. Also for the Stuff the Bus program. When I was there, 15, 20 football players showed up, bought cookies, contributed to that. I didn't see any coaches there with them. Was that their idea, or how'd they all make it there?
We had the conversation after our team breakfast last week, but I believe it was actually mentioned to me that they had already planned on going. So, our kids understand the concept of community, and we know we have a great community in Dover, Ohio. And so as a football program, we know that we have a special place to play, and it is because of our community. And so when they have that opportunity to give back, I've seen that consistently. They do that.
Yeah, that community, and that's become a tradition for the football team to head out there. My wife was up there, and the majorettes showed up, so the little girls up there. So speaking of community, and Crater on Friday nights is something special. And so talk about just that atmosphere, that community support where the band, the cheerleaders, and fans from 9 months to 90 come and show up and watch football Friday night.
It is, and Travis, you've been there as a player, you've been there as a spectator, and I know you've coached as well,
Sure.
And so when you have that opportunity to play in Crater Stadium, and not even in Crater Stadium, we travel pretty well too.
Sure.
We really see that component, and sometimes we have to dial our kids back in because they're so used to it that this isn't the same in every program. And I've mentioned this before, but I would bring friends home, for a Friday night game when I was in college, or sometimes we go to the Dover New Philadelphia game, and they couldn't believe that was the atmosphere that we played in every Friday night. So it is something special.
It is really special. And honestly, I didn't learn that till I went to play college football, and you're playing in front of 300 instead of 5,000. A little different atmosphere.
Right.
Coach, we're about to wrap it up. I want to give you one more chance, because he mentioned it, to highlight the cheerleading program.
Hey, I will always take every opportunity I can to highlight the cheerleading program. And so, I think the cheerleading coach is really excited about the group of girls she has this year. We, as a football program, are always excited about the support that we get from them, and our band, and our community, and our student section, our administration. And so, we look at it as our football community in that aspect.
And Mrs. Reese got her state championship under her belt, so now your turn's next.
Hey, again, growth, right? We're looking
1%
for growth.
better, right?
1% better, yep.
All right, that's Dover Crimson Tornado football coach Matt Reese. Travis McClellan, Bill Hammerstrom will have the call of the Dover games on WJER Radio and online at WJER.com. Coach, thanks so much for your time here. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
We'll be right back with the Big Z Sports High School Football Preview Show, brought to you by Haas Auto Body, from Sammy Sue's in Dover and Big Z Sports.
Every day begins with purpose. Every job begins with precision. At Rightmark Roofing, we don't just install roofs. We build trust and forge relationships. We understand that your roof is more than just materials. It's protection. It's peace of mind. That's why we use high-quality products and expert craftsmanship. With a sharp focus, our team is always ready to hit the mark. Call Rightmark Roofing. Let's build a future that stands strong.
Putting community first since 1933. FNB Denison. Technology is our closest branch, a legacy of looking forward. Growing with you today for a better tomorrow. Putting community first since 1933. FNB Denison.
At Hartson's Quality Housing, we believe a home is where families grow, memories are made, and futures are built. For 47 years, we've stood by the values that matter most: honesty, trust, and a commitment to our community. Our goal is to provide affordable, reliable housing solutions. We don't just build homes, we invest in the future by supporting local student athletes and the schools that shape tomorrow's leaders. Whether it's on the field or in the classroom, we're proud to stand with our youth and the families who cheer them on. Hartzler's Quality Housing, built on trust, committed to community.
The Big Z Sports Preview Show rolling on the Big Z YouTube channel. I'm Bill Morgan, joined by Roger Metzger, and tonight's program being brought to you by Altman Health System and Keim Lumber and Charm. And this segment focused in on New Philadelphia Quaker football, brought to you by Gillen Auto Body. Wes and his great team big Quaker fans to be sure. Happy to be joined by Quaker head coach Mike Johnson. And Coach, you and I did an interview earlier in the week. We were talking about you've been a part of Quaker football for an extended period of time, from when you played, an assistant coach, now multiple years as the head coach. What are the biggest differences in getting ready for a new year like you're doing now as opposed to when you were an assistant on Coach Dennison's staff?
The schedule comes out and everybody's wife hates you. I think that's the biggest one. No, it's pretty – it's definitely one. You get to say, hey, if you got a problem, just blame me. And usually they get over it, and I don't know. But, no, it's good. It's the changes. There's a lot more, I think, that goes into the prep. You get texts, you get calls, you get there's events that are great like this. There's sometimes you get pulled to some things you don't want to get to. But I mean, there's a lot of I guess outside forces that pull, and sometimes it's hard to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
I think, like, when you're an assistant coach, it's, I'm going to come to the office today. You know, you get up early, you go in, and you get everything printed, ready to go, practice set up. You go out, you practice hard, you watch film, you write your notes, you know, and you give your feedback, and you do it all again tomorrow. Where I think as the head coach, there's a little bit more outside of that comes.
Oh, yeah,
and it's,
absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of events or things, you know, just that pop up.
Yeah, like last week you had the county preview.
The county preview last Tuesday night, which is a great event. We're here tonight. We were going to try to get to youth practice last night, but it rained, and our kids were in the rain all morning, so we didn't get to that. And you want to go to those events. Sometimes it's hard to make it happen because, you know, our kids got to be ready to play football, so sometimes you have to pick and choose, and that's, you know, I don't want to say it's unfair to people, but you got to do it right by your players, your kids, your team, and I think that's one of the big it's always been a priority for us.
Sure.
And I'm sure some people don't like me for it, but that's okay.
Mike John, that's why he gets that giant stipend.
It's
every
not
year.
that giant.
Yeah.
It's not that giant.
I know it's not. That's why it said tongue. And when you divide it by hours and days, I think Coach has come up with he's making 73 cents on the hour. It is all brought to you by our good partners at Keim Lumber and Altman Health System. Coach, what people want to hear about this time of the year, what are your strengths as you view them and the coaching staff views them headed into the new year?
I think we're really excited. It's nice to get a scrimmage, you know, underway here. It's good to have a scrimmage. It's good to see what our kids are able to do. So then we're able to say, hey, you know, we got Parker Rieger coming back at quarterback, and you're like, all right, we got a guy who's done it before and has done it well. He's been able to lead us down the field, get us into the end zone, so let's build on that. A couple of threats outside to get the ball to with TR and Lincoln that do a wonderful job, and it's, you know, it's all set. Like, we have some history there from those guys. They've been playing football together for a long time. A couple of linemen coming back. Let's build on those guys. That's what we want. So I guess when we look at, like, the strengths we got coming back, I think it's our players, our returners that have played a little bit since they've been sophomores, so they've been playing every year.
Yeah, especially Parker Rieger. I mean, he had a great season last year. What do you expect of him in this campaign? What do you look for?
Well, I'm excited for a couple of things. I'm excited that he was so reliable with the football in his hands. He made great decisions. I think he had 5 picks, and like 4 of them were like in junk time when we're trying to make a play.
Yeah.
So, like, those are kind of a wash, and if it's a 3rd and long, sometimes it's as good as a punt.
Exactly.
So, like, the way he protected the football is key. The way that when we went down the stretch last year, he was playing great. The play action stuff hit off and was able to read it. He was able to have nice fakes, and then the ball was in his hands a little bit more as the year went on. He ran it a little bit too.
Sure.
And I think we're going to see even more of that from him this year. I'm really excited to put the ball in his hands.
Exactly.
Our Quaker segment being brought to you by Gillen Auto Body in New Philadelphia. Coach, I talked to somebody, and if I knew who it was, I would throw him or her under the bus as I ask this next question. But they said, you know, you've got a young upcoming quarterback in Pierce Watson, and maybe last year Parker didn't run the ball as much as you would have liked him to because you weren't sure who the number 2 guy would be. Not asking you if that's true or not true, but do you take an option and be able to run Parker a little bit more this year with a talented kid like Pierce behind him?
Well, I think Pierce has done a nice job. He's a sophomore. We have a nice sophomore class that's had success coming up as well. And I think they're going to battle. And it's been really nice here in camp where you have this, where like the sophomores, the juniors, the seniors are all kind of mashed up. Like our scout teams, they're so much more competitive than they were last year. It can be a violent session. It's a fast session. There's a little bit of contact going on. That's all in the best kind of way. So it's nice to see this growth and you start building a little bit of that depth. And last year, I think we didn't do a good enough job, and that's probably coaching. I don't know if that was coaching. I don't know what it was. But now we're starting to see it pay out right now. So hopefully that continues to grow as we get the season underway.
And the league, obviously, really tough, the Ohio Cardinal Conference. What do you look for in 2026 on that?
I think it's going to be interesting because I think it's going to be a little bit more wide open. Last year, it was they were a little top heavy. There were some heavy hitters.
A lot of good quarterbacks in the league.
A quarterback that went to Maryland, one that went to Michigan State, a wideout that went to Georgia. Like, really, really good football players. And I think there's still going to be good football players, just not Georgia-type football players, which is nice because that opens the door, for really anybody to really step up and do it. So as we look at, I don't know who the favorite is because a lot of the teams that were at the top last year, they lost their best guys. So how do they come back this year,
exactly.
and how do we reload, and how does the Dover joins the league?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I mean, that's going to be interesting too because they gave it to us last year. How can we recover?
I was going to say, how about having Dover and Philly for the crown on that Dover?
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, let's hope that's the case. And it's going to be exciting just as we look at how talented these other teams are, but. I think when it comes to grinding things out, you've seen Dover play enough, you've seen the Quakers play enough. It's we like the physicality, and I think that's something that we're going to see in this league this year.
Quaker head coach Mike Johnson, our guest and coach, as we wrap up maybe in about 60 to 90 seconds. Talk to us about your defense. I know you're looking for them to grow as the preseason winds to a close later this week with your final scrimmage.
Our defense came out last scrimmage, very first play. We had a nice blitz off the edge. Our safety got off the hash. We got an interception, and everybody was going wild. And if we can continue to have momentum and play hard, play fast, good things happen to you. And we've seen that throughout, the history of New Philadelphia football. When we play hard and fast on defense, it's hard to move the ball. So we're really excited about this group because going into that scrimmage, I wasn't sure how they would play. And after that first play, it was like, okay, we're going to be okay. These guys want to play. They want to hit. They're hungry. And that's one of the things that you need to have. You need to have people who are hungry, who are going to go out and play fast and play as hard as they can. And that's the biggest thing that we saw from these guys. So as we look at, that defense, I was a little worried going into last week.
Less worried now, right?
Less worried now. We don't have all the answers. And we don't. I don't even know if we'll be good. But we're playing hard. We're playing fast, and if you're going to play hard and fast, it gives you a good chance to do those things.
He is Quaker head coach, Mike Johnson. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. As you alluded to when this first started, a lot going on this time of the year, so we appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. But before I go, I want to say real quick, I want to give a shout-out to my guy, Boston Crowell, who's watching. He's one of our guys who I love him. He's a great kid. He's fallen on some hard times, but I know he's watching. He's probably like, you look like an idiot with your haircut like that, and that's okay. I don't mind that. But
he would tell you that?
He would tease that on us.
You may be getting a text momentarily from Boston.
I'm sure I will. But we love him, and we miss him, so that's a good thing.
Boston, we hope you certainly continue down the path to getting better. This Quaker segment brought to you by Gilland Auto Body. More on the Big Z Sports Preview Show coming right up.
Wood Electric has been trusted with all of your electrical needs for over 30 years. They are the place to call for residential, commercial, and industrial work. Wood Electric is available 24 hours a day and ready to help with any electrical problem, outage, or installation. Wood Electric, serving Tuscarawas County and beyond since 1988. Like Wood Electric on Facebook or find them online at woodelectric.net.
At First Federal Community Bank, investing in our community isn't just a slogan. It's how we do business each and every day. I'm Corey Parker, mobile mortgage lender, and our goal is to empower your financial well-being and build a lasting relationship with you, your family, and your business. We're here to assist you every step of the way, from checking and savings accounts to mortgages and commercial loans. First Federal Community Bank, serving your banking needs in Dover, New Philadelphia, Yorksville, Sugar Creek, Berlin, and Mount Hope. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 1810696.
Is there anything better than high school sports? Hi, this is Pat Ferris of Ferris Chevrolet Buick and Toyota. High school sports bring out the best in our schools and in our communities, and the people at Ferris have always believed in the importance of athletics and academics. Just like we believe in the great cars and trucks we sell and service every day, like high school sports, we're a great tradition in this area. Ferris, on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
It is the 2026 high school football preview show with Big Z Sports live from Sammy Sue's BBQ. Still plenty of time to stop on down here and get a bite to eat and get to watch the show live. Nick McWilliams and Shannon Thomas for your next segment, brought to you by PAC Drilling, and it is for the Indian Valley Braves and head coach Matt Lancaster. Coach, hasn't been too long since we've seen you guys, obviously, for your two-a-days. And, it's kind of crazy to think we're that close to the season starting again.
Just flies right around, doesn't it?
No kidding.
Yep.
And I know we're super excited about it. I know you guys are, a lot of preparations going in there. Everyone's going to have the same question for you over and over again about this team coming into this year. But I know you're going to be the first to say no team is created around one player, so you guys are expecting big things from the Braves this year.
Yeah, we got a good group back. Obviously, the elephant in the room is Grady Kinsey, off to Air Force. But, we're not going to replace him with another Grady Kinsey, because that's a generational talent that we were blessed to have. But, we got a good group coming back. We like our seniors. We got a big senior class of 15 kids, and those guys have seen a lot of competition. Many of them are three-year starters. They've made deep playoff runs, and they've played some really good teams, and they're hungry for it to be their turn.
Yeah, Coach, I was at dinner the other night, and I had a guy come up to me and said, "Hey, are you Shannon from Big Z?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, how's Indian Valley going to be this year without Grady Kinsey?" And I kind of said, you always say that you get a great player like that, everybody else has got to come together, and you do it by committee. But I think the difference this year up front will be for you guys. I think your offensive line this year put in a lot of work in the offseason, and I think they're going to gel better, and I think they'll help those running backs more than what they helped Grady last year.
Yeah, Coach Peterman and I are pretty excited about the offensive line that we have. We think that they have the opportunity to be better than last year. Our two best are back in Brogan Wilson and Titan Peterman, and then a number of guys that got experience last year are back, and they're a year stronger and a year bigger. From a great offseason in the weight room. So we're excited about that line. And, replacing Grady's going to be by committee. A number of different guys that are going to be getting the carries that he would have gotten.
And, Coach, we obviously talking about the offensive line, but on the defensive line front, too, you mentioned a Titan Peterman, a Brogan Wilson, who can have huge impacts on the game. But also, we haven't even gotten to, speaking of, Riker Williams off the edge, what he was able to do for you guys the past 2 years in that role. This is a team that, for a lot of years you had some knocks on the defense, but, it really came up big over the past few years. And I know that's going to be a huge focus this year, too.
Yeah, we've shored some things up defensively the last, 2 years. A couple years ago we had to get in a lot of shootouts, but our defense has really stepped up, and we're fortunate to have 7 guys back on that side of the ball. You mentioned the D-line, that we like our defensive line, and the 4 we got coming back up there, and our entire secondary is back except for our safety. So, defense is definitely going to be a strength early on for us, we hope. But they have gotten a lot better and taking a lot more pride on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and when you go back to the offensive side, like I said, you graduated that kid that went to the Air Force, but you have Riker Williams under center. He's a veteran. He played as a freshman a little bit behind Sam Carter, but then he started. This will be his 3rd straight year as a starter, and he's got a lot of players back around him with Reese St. Clair. You got and I'm drawing blanks now. Carson Hostetler's back, and Colt James is back. So you got a lot of weapons there that Riker can, he can throw the ball around a little bit if you need to.
Yeah, realistically, the only skill player we lost from last year was Grady. All 3 receivers are back, our tight end's back, and you said the most important one with the quarterback position. And Riker's been a competitor for 3 years in that position, and he's gonna compete again this year. We know that. He's a dual threat guy that can do it with his feet and with his arm, and he's a very good passer too. We haven't had to do that as much in the last 2 years, but we're going to have to be a little bit more dynamic offensively and be a little bit more balanced.
Now, I know this was asked to you during our two-a-day series, and I know it's something that you guys are definitely going to be talking about the upcoming open week, so to speak, for Indian Valley. It's one of those situations, I don't think any coach really wants to have one necessarily. Might be nice to get healthy, but not so great on the front if you want to keep everybody locked in for all 10 weeks during the regular season. It's one of those things, though, does it almost kind of feel like a point of pride just for the fact of, trying to find somebody who wants to play and they realize, oh boy, that's a really tough challenge for us. I don't know if we want to take that challenge on.
I mean, it is. It's a sign of respect, but at the same time, we'd rather play a football game. It's not good for the kids. It's not good for the coaches to not have the same routine of preparing for an opponent. We went through it last year and we thought, well, this is going to be a good thing. And then that week it was kind of, we got to figure out some things to do. Obviously we're practicing and continuing to get better and doing things, in the field house with film and in the weight room and things, and trying to get healthy. But it's just we're creatures of habit, and it takes you out of your habit. So it's not ideal, but like you said, it's not like we haven't tried. We've tried. We're still trying right now, as a matter of fact, as schools in Ohio start to cancel their seasons with numbers, or they go to 8-man football, and some things have come up. Every time there's a cancellation, we're keeping an eye on it, and we're reaching out to those programs. We had one last week. We thought it was going to be a good match, and it happened exactly like you said. Initially, they said, "Yeah, let's work something out," and then they said, "No, thank you." So it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast, and if we got to have a bye week, we'll use it to do what we can do to get healthy and continue to improve, but hopefully we still find a game.
The only problem is it's a week that feels like it's a month long, probably.
Yeah, it does. It kind of drags that week, and being creatures of habit, it takes us kind of out of our routine, but we'll figure it out.
Well, you just said the word routine. Once you get kids in a routine, you want to stay in that routine. Well, their routine at Indian Valley changes this week because they started school today, the freshmen and the elementaries. And so how does that now shift your focus for practice and stuff?
Nothing. It actually makes practice better. It gets things more of a routine, like you said, because we're a spread out district, and sometimes during two-a-days we have problems with kids getting to practice, younger kids anyways, who can't drive yet. Once school starts, that's never a problem because they're already there. They're at school. That's never an issue, and so we can be a lot more consistent at practice. Our practice times are more consistent. Our practice schedule's more consistent once we get school started. So usually at first day of school, practice is not very good, and that's tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes, but. Traditionally, for whatever reason, us coaches have found the first day of school is just going to be a bad practice. Kids are thinking about the girls they saw in school that day and, their classes, but we'll see.
And looking ahead to, the rest of the schedule, or looking at your schedule, I guess, for 2 straight years now, it's trips to the Final Four. It's a state championship and a state semifinal appearance. For you guys, you always say about improving the standard or trying to get, a little bit better and improve every single year. You guys have gone as high as you possibly can go. So what is it that you tell the team, in order to keep striving to get back to those kind of points?
Yeah, well, our motto this year is levels, it's the point is everybody here, all these coaches, all the teams in T County, every team in Ohio, in every sport, they want to win. Everybody wants to win. Everybody plays hard. Everybody, is tough. Everybody does things the right way. The difference is in the levels, the levels of that. And so we've been able to do it at a pretty high level for a while now. And so, that's what we're trying to get across to the kids, and that's what our kids want to continue to do is continue to achieve at a high level, continue to play at a high level, continue to give great effort at a high level, and toughness, be selfless, and commit to the team.
Yeah, Coach, and I commit to the team. That's big. I think this is probably about the 11th or 12th year I've been with Big Z Sports. And the very first year I covered Indian Valley football, that was your toughest season that I covered you guys, because that would have been, I believe, Cade Williams, a sophomore year.
2016. Yep.
Yeah, he went out with a shoulder injury, and your team fought to get back to 5-5, and then from there on, it's just like your coaches have done a great job. The kids buy in. The parents let the coaches do what they do. So I mean, it's a great thing that you've had going on down in Indian Valley for 20 years now.
We've been blessed. I've been blessed as a coach to be there. It's a great place, great community, great school, great families, great parents. Let us coach, let us do our jobs, and we've had great kids, and we've had very talented athletes, and even better young men. And so it's been an honor and a pleasure to do it at Indian Valley, and we just look to continue the traditions that we started.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate your time, and we look forward to being around for another season of Braves football. And this year, all 9 weeks, I guess, Big Z Sports will be there along with you guys. So
Awesome.
We're greatly looking forward to seeing what you guys have in store this year.
All right, good. Thanks, guys.
Head coach Matt Lancaster for the Indian Valley Braves, brought to you by PAC Drilling with the 2026 High School Football Preview Show with Big Z Sports. Stick around. We're going to get another coach up here momentarily.
If you're planning a major concrete project, you need the help of Stocker Concrete Company. From precast concrete products to ready-mix concrete, sand, gravel, limestone, and concrete block, the professionals at Stocker Concrete can help you get started and keep you on the path to completion using the best materials you can find. Stocker Concrete is the concrete material provider you can count on. See them at 7574 Route 36, Janaden-Hutton, or call 740-254-4626.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, trust the team at Grandview Exterior Systems. Established in 2016, they specialize in commercial, industrial, and residential roofing, handling everything from repairs and replacements to full restorations and ongoing maintenance. At Grandview Exterior Systems, their mission is simple: create peace of mind for every client while setting the standard for safety, quality, and efficiency in construction. Visit them at 2230 Township Road 415 in Dundee. Call 330-275-1807 or learn more at GrandviewExteriorSystems.com. Grandview Exterior Systems. They have you and your roof covered. The Fraternal Order of Eagles is an international nonprofit organization uniting fraternally in the spirit of liberty, truth, justice, and equality to make human life more desirable by lessening its ills and promoting peace, prosperity, gladness, and hope. Locally, the Uhrichsville Eagles is a proud supporter of not only local school districts, but also local police and fire departments. To learn more about the Uhrichsville Eagles, they invite you to stop by and see how they are truly people helping people.
Welcome back to the 2026 Big Z Sports High School Football Preview Show. Chris Kale and, of course, Logan McPeak with me. Yeah, I almost spit that out. All brought to you by Altman Health Systems and the Kind Company, and welcoming in head coach Cade Adams of the Tusky Valley Trojans. And their coverage all year long brought to you by Wallace & Associates. Coach, when you look at last year, just to quickly recap that, big win over Waynedale in overtime, 21-20. It seemed like it was 2 overtimes. To get your first career win, what a way to get your first career win in week 1. I remember how excited you were, and it seemed like you were almost a little bit in disbelief that happened.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Pretty cool to get the first win on the first game. But, yeah, there's a lot more work to do this year now, though.
Absolutely. And, Coach, obviously in that game, you lost the key piece in that game of Mason White, who's been just, at least from when we were at two-a-days, has been at every practice for you guys so far. How has him being around the team motivated your guys this year?
I think they like having him there. They've been buddies since they were really young. Started playing football together in first grade, so they love having him there. He's just still got a good attitude, great kid. Love having him around. I think he loves being there. It's good for him to be there.
Absolutely, Coach. And, so you bookend the season with wins. You wrap up against Sandy Valley at home. You get the big win there, 28-20. I know the middle of the season didn't go how you wanted it to, but always ending the season with a win and a little bit of positivity and then turning the page into this year, that's got to be a bright spot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think winning at the end there to go into the off season with a win, it kind of leaves on a high note.
Yep.
So it kind of helped us, I believe, in the off season, get a couple more kids out and get the excitement going into the weight room.
And you return a lot too, Coach. Yeah. I mean, of course, when you return your signal caller, that's always good. When you've got Elijah, who's a little dual threat, you can kind of line him up everywhere like you did last year. Right. Just talk to me about, kind of what you're going to do with them. Obviously Beckham will probably be your quarterback, correct? And then you'll throw Elijah in here and there, or are you going to switch it up, or you're not going to tell me?
Well, I had another quarterback move in.
Oh, well then there you go.
So there's a quarterback battle between him and Beckham. Elijah's pretty much just a wide receiver slash running back now.
So slash.
Yeah.
We'll say slash because you can move that kid wherever you want.
He'll call him a Swiss Army knife. Yeah. He'll do whatever we ask.
I like it. Yeah, absolutely. Just talk to us about some of those pieces. Talk to us about the new quarterback.
The new quarterback, he's a sophomore. Colton Adams is his name. You might recognize his name.
Yes.
It is my son.
Okay, so there you go.
He was up at Massillon last year.
Perfect.
Decided to come home and play for Dad, and he's been doing really well as a sophomore. He still has sophomore mistakes, got stuff to learn.
Hey.
He's got a pretty good arm on him. He's been showcasing it.
So talk to me about how it is to coach your boy. Is it different, or you've probably been doing it all through the youth stuff, but is it different at this level?
Yeah, it's a little different at this level. He's actually a little smarter than what he used to be when he was younger. So
Dad's probably a little smarter too.
Yeah, definitely. So he does know a little bit more. I really enjoy having him. Honestly, him not being there last year and playing football up at Massillon was actually kind of odd not having him around.
Right.
So it's cool to have my kid there and go through this experience with him.
Now, Coach, you add 2 new opponents to your schedule this year in East Knox and East Canton, who was really competitive in the North last year. But you lose Norton and Malvern, which were 2 really competitive games last year for you guys. Talk about what you're expecting out of the new challenge from an East Knox team, 1-9 last season, but then a formidable foe in East Canton this year.
East Knox, you said 1-9, but they threw for a lot of yards last year. They had a couple kids with a lot of receiving yards, so we expect them to come out and just play like that and get my defense ready for them, and hopefully we can come out and do the same thing to them.
And Coach, 5 playoff teams, from last year, you play them all in a row, week 5 through 9. We know the gauntlet that is the IVC, and obviously you get a win or 2 out of those 5 games in that stretch from week 5 to 9, and that can change a whole team season, even if those are the only wins of the season, right?
Yeah, I really appreciate you reminding me of the gauntlet.
That's our job, Coach.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a tough stretch, and at the end of the day, I don't. The wins and losses, whatever. I want to be more competitive, whether we win or lose. Right. I want to be more competitive than what we were, and absolutely, if we could get a win in there, that'd be huge.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, Coach, talk to me about your seniors this year and how their leadership has been throughout these first couple weeks of practices. And I'm going to assume you guys have already had a scrimmage already.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the seniors and how their leadership has been throughout practice so far.
They've been doing really well. I think there was only 5 of them last year, so I think I have had 3 couple that didn't play football before. I had another one that moved in. I think he was at Dover last year but lives in our district, so he came to play football for us. They've been doing really well. They've been stepping up. Most of them in the off season were there at 6 a.m. lifting 4 days a week, so they've really stepped it up and took on the challenge of be the change, which is something that we need to do there for sure.
So be the change is the kind of the motto this year.
Yeah.
I like it, Coach. I love coaches that try to do something like that every year. Put a name to something. Put it on a T-shirt, right? Put it on a hat. Put it on a wall. Whatever. And it gives the kids something, a goal, right?
Absolutely.
And so talk to me. Year 2 for you. Are you more comfortable? You have to be more comfortable because of the way things went down last year. It was like 1 week you weren't there, and the next week you were playing week 1. That's. So obviously the preparation, being able to have that time through the summer, through the spring to kind of settle in, get your program started the way you want it to go. How much comforting has that been to you and your staff?
Well, you forgot the fall and winter. You just went straight to spring.
Well, I did.
You think those months had stopped? No, it's been awesome, man. It has. It hasn't stopped for me.
Right.
I started right after week 10, looking to next year, was able to hire some more coaches to help out, and I put together a great staff, and we were in my garage in the wintertime meeting about stuff. We were in another coach's garage. We've been doing it for months.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Coach Reese's wife from Dover back during a basketball game, and I said, hey, how's it going? And she's like, look, a football coach's wife, there is no off season. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
to add to that, yeah, absolutely. There is no off season. Coach, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming out tonight. Want you to get back over there before your food gets too cold, because you just got it right before we went on the air.
I'm more worried about Buddy eating it while I'm sitting over there.
Well, listen, you know that guy calls us every week if he wins, and he's usually at a drive-through. So I wouldn't bet. And if you put wings over there, they probably
forget about it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're probably going to be nibbled on. The Heat Miser was eating all my French fries while I was on the air earlier, and it didn't even go through. So, no, Coach, we appreciate you. Good luck in your second season, and look, we look forward to covering you up there in Zorville this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Head coach Kate Adams of the Tusky Valley Trojans, brought to you by Wallace & Associates. We are live here, the 2026 Big Z Sports High School Football Preview, all brought to you by Altman Health Systems and the Kind Company from Sammy Sue's Barbecue on the corner of Tuscarawas Avenue and Front Street. Make sure you stop out and get some ribs. We got a host of folks out here. By the way, I have to ask you, pretty cool. This is your kind of second time around. We do the wrap-up show in the after everything's done with the season. How cool is it to sit around with the other coaches and just kind of bounce ideas off each other and say, hey, how's the wife and kids doing? You know what I mean?
Oh, it's great. These are a bunch of good guys, too. They're good. There's a bunch of people out there that want to give time to kids like these guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so blessed to have the coaches that we have in our area from 1 to 16. It's awesome. So, yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, like I said, we look forward to seeing you down the road, and we'll let you go eat, and make sure you lick Buddy's fingers. That's the only way you're going to taste those wings.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is Kate Adams of the Tusky Valley Trojans. We'll be back right after this.
TMK Valley Propane is embracing remote tank monitors. Are you tired of going outside to check your propane tank or forget to order your propane on time? TMK Valley Propane now provides reliable remote tank monitoring technology. Let TMK Valley Propane take the worry away, provide timely delivery, and never run out of propane again. Thank you for your trust in TMK Valley Propane.
All the way with TMK, service with a personal touch.
Every game begins with a spark. Athletes stepping onto the court, families filling the stands, and communities coming together. At Niedenthal & Company, their belief is that this spirit is what makes our communities such special places to live and grow. To all athletes in Tuscarawas, Holmes, Wayne, and Stark counties, your dedication inspires us all. Keep pushing, keep believing, and know your communities are behind you every step of the way. Niedenthal & Company wishes all athletes competing the best of luck this season.
In a world where quality is often sacrificed for speed, there's a team that still believes in doing things right. At Warrior Barriers, they're more than just builders. They're veterans, men and women who know what it means to serve. Every fence and every deck is crafted with precision, pride, and integrity that only comes from those who have been through the trenches together. Because your home deserves nothing less than the best. This isn't just their job, it's their mission. Warrior Barriers custom fencing and decks, built with quality by those who understand it best. Unrivaled integrity every time.
Welcome back to the 2026 Big Z Sports High School Football Preview Show from Sammy Sue's. Man, it smells good around here, Coach.
Dinner was good.
Yeah, dinner was good. The smells are good. And listen, Carrollton football's good. And it's all going to be brought to you by Golden Protective Services all year long. And Coach Stormhill in his third season of the Carrollton Warriors. And Coach, looking at last year, 4-6. In 2 and 3 in the EBC, just missed out on the playoffs, on the postseason. I'll tell you what, it was. I think overall, you guys had a good year, a positive year. That really you were in so many games. Like you look at the Minerva game, you got a big win, but your losses, right? 47-28 track meet against Alliance.
Yeah.
42-18 Cloverleaf. That game was close early on. Mm-hmm. The opening game of the season, 23-12 against East Liverpool. A lot of games that, especially up to halftime, you guys were in, and then it seemed like things kind of started to shift at halftime.
Yeah, and I think we've put a lot of emphasis here on finishing games and making sure we're working together as a team, because I think sometimes when times got tough a little bit last year, we didn't do as well as what I would have liked, and that's on me. So I made that a point of emphasis this year.
Well, and that's the whole thing, right? Is sometimes you bring back some good kids. You got a quarterback battle this year, but some of those skill kids, they have to learn how to win football games, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You got to learn how to close.
Yeah.
And sometimes early on, when they are just getting that varsity experience, just don't know how to close football games.
Right,
right,
for sure. Yeah,
that's where it's at.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a young team again this year. We have a lot of younger kids that are playing that they may have lettered, but don't have a ton of varsity experience.
Right.
But I think they've done a good job in the summer getting acclimated to the systems and processes that we have, and have just done very well. So we're excited here for the start of the year.
Now, Coach, you returned your workhorse running back that I'm assuming we're going to hear a lot from him this year, Levi Kiko.
Yeah.
You return a nice receiver in Jaden Murphy and Marcus Brooks, who's going to be a solid tight end.
Yep.
But you lose your signal caller from last year, Hunter Allison, who did an outstanding job for you guys last season.
Yeah.
Talk about the quarterback battle so far, because I know, as you just mentioned, there's a quarterback battle going on out there.
Yeah, so obviously you've kind of narrowed it down here to a senior in Brody Gonda, and then a sophomore in Jay-Sean Gerber.
Yep.
And we have a pretty good idea where we're at on that. And they're giving them both equal opportunities throughout the summer here. They're both going to have got opportunities in our first scrimmage, and we've got to progress here in our next scrimmage. But yeah, I can't quite share those hand yet, but yeah.
Well, and that's fine. But we know when we were out, with you last week out at two-a-days, you had kind of mentioned, look, we're kind of leaning maybe one way, but it could still, we got a lot of time left.
Yeah.
It could still go the other way.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to be fair and equitable in it. And, we started with 4 quarterbacks and worked down to 2, and they split those reps for 50-50, and we just evaluated them every single day. Our offensive coordinator, Zay Dietz, and I talk probably more than he wants to talk about it, but we've had very detailed conversations about it. So
well, we know how big the signal color is, especially in today's world. I mean, you've got to have that. You've got to have that kid to not only sit back there and throw the football accurately, but be able to avoid traffic and get out of the pocket, right?
Yeah, and that's what, Hunter did a great job for us last year, but he was coming off an ACL surgery, so we didn't run him a whole lot at the beginning of the season, and then as we progressed through the season and he was feeling more healthy and more comfortable, when we used his legs a little bit more, it just changes the defensive perspective a little bit. So, and that was part of the evaluation we did this year, is we said, our quarterback has to be able to run the football. You got to be a +1 back there in the backfield.
Got to.
So.
Now, Coach, you return virtually everyone on your schedule minus Kenmore Garfield, but you add the Claymont Mustangs. So I'm sure that there's been some friendly banter between you and Buddy over there.
Sitting over there together.
Yeah, he's way more versed than I am. Years of experience here. So I was talking to him about his time at Reynoldsburg, and he's done a good job at Claymont since he's come home. So yeah.
Well, your schedule this year, obviously, again, another challenging schedule for you guys this year.
Sure.
You guys have 6 playoff teams from last year.
And one of those even not being in the playoffs, East Liverpool returns a ton. They had some injuries last year, and they have a very good crew coming back.
And they made a run the year previous.
Yes. And they have a very good player in the Abercrombie kid. He's going to James Madison, I think it is too. So yeah, they're going to have us on the schedule there.
In Logan, 3 of those are in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
And then you get into the EBC, which is no easier.
No, not by any means.
When you say Alliance, West Branch, Marlington, Salem, and Minerva, look how improved Minerva's been over the last 2 years.
Yeah, Coach Slate's doing an excellent job there.
Yeah. Talk about your schedule and how you see things. I know we talked a little bit about it on two-a-days, but, some of those people that may have missed that, talk to me about how your schedule's lining up and, what you think.
Yeah, I think, like you said, every opponent we have this year is very skilled. We got to be ready week 1, like I already said here with East Liverpool. They return a lot. Edison, same thing. I know they had a coaching change there, but it's, same coach was there previously.
Right.
So they have some normality of theirs. And, Cloverleaf's a very good opponent. It was an interesting opponent last year because I obviously knew how far it was, but it was a 90-minute travel up there, and I think our kids got off schedule a little bit, and again, that's on me to change that. And then we have Claymont and Howland now in our league as part of the EBC in our last couple years here.
Yeah.
And then the league in a whole is very good, and you can't go without talking about the league without talking about and addressing West Branch because I think they're 6-time champs here in a row.
I had them penciled in as a contender for the D4 title this year. They've got a lot of talent back this year.
I think starting with Grady Hurst at their quarterback position, I think he's committed to Youngstown State. State, and he's a very good player. Yeah.
Listen, they have been formidable all the way back when it was the NBC.
Yeah.
And Dover was in the NBC a long time ago when I was in high school. You always had to go up to West Branch.
Yeah, they were
always had to go to Bully.
One of the first ones using the air raid offense. I remember I was pretty young then, but yeah.
Yep, always using the air raid, and then the cannons going off up there when they score. I'm like, oh boy. But no doubt, you definitely have a tough schedule, and then like you said, Howland. Heck, I might go up. You guys you're down. You have them at home.
Yeah, we have them.
I was gonna say, if you got them on the road, that's right next to where I work. So I just swung by, and man, I'd have been a stringer for the night. Let Adam run the board, But Coach, when you look at losing Hunter Allison, Isaac Husted, Dalton Sweeney, Hayden Thomas, Javen Johnson last year, talk about that senior group that you have this year. Are they able to step in and be leaders like those leaders that left?
Yeah, and that's what I said. I think that onus was on me to make sure we understand what leadership is, and we've talked a lot about being the best version of ourselves, and we can't worry about necessarily those 10 other opponents, but making sure we're invested in the process and just getting better every single day. So I think our leaders are there. I think we're getting to that point that they understand, we all got to be going the same direction. Right. So yes, I think they are ready.
Now, Coach, so your passing yards, 1,800 yards through the air last year.
We threw the pill a little bit.
I know that's kind of unusual for a Carrollton offense.
It is, yeah.
You were balanced, though.
Yeah, we were
11:08 and 18:70.
We were pretty balanced, yeah. I worked under Coach Salimas before this, and
Coach T.
Like we talked about, it wasn't
Coach T.
RPO wasn't run pass option; it was run power option. So,
right.
So it's a little bit of change in that, and I think our kids like the system that we have now, and they understand what we're trying to do. Trying to spread the ball out to the edges and make sure if we have stack box, we're not going to
right.
work in an inappropriate way there and put them up for failure.
Right.
So,
No, I agree. Well, Coach, how cool is it that you get to sit around? I mean, you're literally sitting eating beside your week 1 opponent.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, your week 4 opponent. But still, regardless,
yeah.
Your week 4 opponent, you're sitting there eating beside him.
I didn't think he recognized my shirt at first. He was asking Coach Adams. He said, "What do you heard about Carrollton?" I said, "Right here." but no, he's a good guy. It's nice to meet him face to face.
And it's so cool that like you said, Coach Iannono is sitting over there talking, with Coach Morris, and everybody's just kind of hanging out talking, and it's not just about football. It's hey, how's the family?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
What do you guys do as an off-season workout program that might help me?
I was excited when Matt came in and brought his son. Him and I were talking at the scrimmage the other day. He's a hoot. He was eating some bacon pizza the last time I saw him at the Carrollton scrimmage.
And that's the unique thing about what we do here at Big Z Sports is not only doing this and at the start of the season, we'll do it again on a wrap-up show. Then you can really, hey, how's everybody getting ready for the holidays? Whatever. And it's something that's very unique. And I think I would just sit back as a fan and sit in the corner and just watch everybody interact because it's so cool.
Yeah. Yep, it's definitely a fraternity for sure. That the men around here obviously experience the same kind of struggles and hardships that you have to go through.
Absolutely.
So,
and just like we talked to Coach Adams about, it's not there isn't an off season in football.
No,
not for a football coach.
It's a 12-month job for sure.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, what's been your overall message to your team? Like any type of team motto this year for you guys, or what's been the overall message for you guys?
Yeah, I think obviously, we talked about a little bit finishing games and just making sure that we're together on the process. But there can't just be any type of individualism that happens. Like our successes are the team successes, and our failures are the team failures, and that's all that there is.
Finish the process. Put it on a T-shirt, Coach.
Okay, I'll have to do that.
Finish the process.
That's good for a back of a T-shirt.
Absolutely. Throw it on the wall of the locker room and say, hey, Big Z Sports came up with it. No, just messing with you. Yeah. Listen, Coach, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for always opening up your program to us. We look forward to covering the Warriors all season long.
Thank you. I appreciate your guys' coverage.
Absolutely. Storm Hill of the Carrollton Warriors brought to you by Golden Protective Services. And when we come back, we'll have another coach. I think it's probably going to be that coach over there in the orange. He's going to have to stop eating your wings and his so he can come over here and talk to us. Big Z Sports will be back right after this.
Looking to buy or sell real estate? Trust the Cash Team at Howard Hanna, bringing over 40 years of combined experience in sales, management, marketing, and real estate. The Cash Team specializes in residential and commercial properties throughout Northeast Central Ohio. Whether you're searching for your dream home, selling for top dollar, or investing in commercial property, they can guide you every step of the way. The Cash Team at Howard Hanna. Experience you can count on. Results you can trust.
Cush Financial Group has been proudly serving the community's financial needs for over 35 years. The team at Cush Financial follows an industry-leading service model with a unique approach and fiduciary responsibilities associated with their board-certified financial planner. With over 75 years of combined experience, the advisors at Cush Financial Group are here to help you achieve your financial goals. Contact their office at 330-308-8700 or visit their website at cushfinancial.com to see about scheduling your free consultation today. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Independence Capital Company Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC.
Top Notch Auto on East Plum Alley in Janaden. Your one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, offering experienced staff that can handle just what you need to keep your vehicle running at its best. Top Notch Auto specializes in diagnostics with state-of-the-art diagnostics equipment. Whether your vehicle needs regular maintenance or major repairs, Top Notch Auto can handle all your vehicle needs. They also offer a large selection of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, and Cooper, just to name a few. Find Top Notch Auto LLC on Facebook.
Jeff Wallach LLC is a family-owned and operated company proudly serving greater Northeast Ohio and surrounding communities for over 25 years. We specialize in vinyl siding, replacement windows and doors, gutters, downspouts, and much more. We provide quality service regardless of the size or scope of the project. Our crews are reliable, respectful, and mindful of a safe work environment. Jeff Wallach LLC is certified by the Better Business Bureau. Call today and discover how we can assist you in making your vision a reality.
Are you ready to make a difference in a young person's life? Big Brothers Big Sisters of East Central Ohio has 88 children waiting for a mentor. As a mentor, you will spend as little as 4 hours a month with your little, guiding them, listening, and helping them discover their full potential. Your time and your kindness can change the course of their future. By becoming a Big, you're not just volunteering, you're defending the potential of a child, giving them an opportunity to dream big and reach higher. Visit www.bigs4kids.com to sign up and help us make sure that no child has to wait. Big Brothers Big Sisters of East Central Ohio. Defend the potential and become a Big today.
Big Z Sports high school football preview show from Sammy Sue's Barbecue on the corner of Front Street, Tuscarawas Avenue in Dover. Make sure you come out here, get some ribs, get some wings. I had an outsider Sammy, which is one of the best sandwiches in the business. And, Coach, what'd you eat? I seen you over there eating Cade's wings, too. I told him the only way he going to get wings is if he licks your fingers.
I'm
so I told him.
I love their plain wings. Those were delicious. I only got 6, but,
all right.
Wish I had a chance to order some more. But I'm not going to do it.
That's all right. I told Cade, I said, he was worried about his food over there, and I said, look, every time Buddy calls me after a win, he's usually in a drive-thru.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Getting something from my dog.
I know you do it. That's all right.
Yep.
Listen, the Claymont Mustangs coverage brought to you all season long by Ron's Heating and Cooling. Listen, it's cool out right now, but as we progress on down the season, it's going to start getting colder out, so make sure you get that tune up for your furnace. And head coach Buddy White in his 3rd season. Coach, you're in the 3rd year of the 5-year process. I told you I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I didn't limit it to 5 years, and unless you talk to some administrators.
Nope, I did not.
I did not. Paper after 5 years.
You just said after 5 years you wanted to see where everything was at. That you should have this program where you want it in 5 years. That's what I was getting at. Not that they were going to cut you loose.
Okay.
Why would they cut you loose? Come on now.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Right now we're ahead of schedule. We went 6-4 last year and made the playoffs, and I didn't think we were a playoff team. This is year 2 after a 1-9 season. I was going to be happy if 4-6,
right?
5-5. We'll throw a pizza party or something. But we ended up making the playoffs then, and it was a good thing because the returning kids that we have, boy, they love the experience, and so. The off-season, man, it's been tremendous off-season, tremendous participation. They bought into what we're doing, what we brought in. The kids have totally bought into it. And I think this season, you'll see where we're at.
Now, Coach, like taking a look at last year, you've harped on it so much that senior class last year was so important in that 5-year process for you guys. Those guys bought into that process. So how is this year's senior class kind of taking that next step towards where you want to be?
I'm gonna tell you what, because of the way the seniors that we had last year bought in, the seniors that we have this year is crazy bought in. I was sitting there the other day. It was picture day, and all our seniors were sitting in the front row. And I just sat there and I looked at them, and I turned to one of my coaches and said, man, how are we going to replace all these guys? Because these guys are studs.
You got some dudes.
Yeah. But, and my coach said, look behind them. Those guys will be ready.
There you go. Well, listen, if you don't hand the ball off to Drayvon a bunch and you don't throw it up and let Jackson go get it, then I think I'm going to have to come down there and say, hey, Coach, what's going on, right? If those two guys aren't doing a lot of work for you this year on the offensive side of the football, something's wrong. Two special kids.
Very special kids, but we got others. We got some other running backs, too.
Okay, I like it.
Drayvon's going to get his touches, but we have some
but that's okay to have a little competition, right?
It is incredibly okay.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that we've had this year that we hadn't had in the past. We got serious competition
there you go.
At certain positions that haven't been decided yet.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I got to put a team out there next Friday. And we're still unsure about some of the starting positions that we have, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely. What are you doing at quarterback? Do you know yet?
Yeah. We got Brady Henry is our quarterback, and boy, he is so bought in to the fact that he's actually one of our captains. He's a junior.
There you go.
He's a captain. Good. He's a very special young man. He's really adjusted and really adapted to what we're doing. I'm most impressed about how he came back. He had a very bad injury last year to his ankle.
Right. That was an ankle injury. Yep.
Yeah, and I was really worried about him, and but he came back. He worked his butt off.
Yep.
And he don't have any kind of limp or anything.
Listen, that's perseverance right there, right?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
And what it is it's confidence. Nice. He's such a confident player, and he gets the ball where it's supposed to be. And he's what I got to say. He's one of those that is totally bought in, and it's so great that he's a junior because he'll be a senior next year, and he'll keep those guys in line.
Now, Coach, you obviously a lot of your skill back with Drayvon and Jackson Jinks. Brady Fox comes back along with Dawson Matzel. You also had another piece come back out for football this year, and a state runner-up wrestler in Cam Stout. So. Talk about and Parker Haney's back too. So talk about your skill this year, because your skill last year was very, very good.
Yep. Well, we really didn't lose much, as far as skill is concerned. We lost, Mason Bailey.
Yep.
Who was
all-time leading receiver, right?
Yes. So we lost him.
Moose.
We lost Moose, and we lost.
Nolan.
Yeah. So we've lost some. We lost some good, but I tell you what, because of what they have done to get this program to where it is, we have some really good pieces waiting for that first game, and it's really going to be exciting.
Well, week one's going to be exciting, Coach. Really, really big win for you guys last year to kick things off against Harrison Central.
Yeah.
You get them, and that was down there. And now you get them at home, right?
Oh,
so you bring them up here, and then you go on the road for 2. Riverview, they struggled last year, but they're rebuilding. Fairless is going to be a dangerous team, Coach.
Yes.
Carrollton, and we talked to Coach sitting over there, Coach Storm Hill, and you sitting. How cool is it? You're sitting next to the coach you're going to play in week 4, and you guys just get to talk about, hey, how's the summer going, right?
Yeah. We talk about that. Talk about our scrimmages that we had last week.
That's so awesome.
Because there's no secrets.
Right.
That's what people can ask me anything they want.
Hey.
I mean, we're not doing anything as far as schematically that hadn't been done before.
You said Henry's going to run a quarterback sneak the first 4 plays no matter what, right?
No.
You didn't tell him that?
But I tell you what, I do have a good line.
Yes.
Then the one thing that we have that we haven't had in the past is we got some really good-sized guards. Last year the guards were, like 5'7", 5'8", maybe 205, 210. But I got 2 3-year starters.
Yeah.
That's moved to guard, and so. So you say about running quarterback sneak through. I believe we can do it.
I believe you could do it too.
Yes.
And ball hawking defense last year too, Coach. 12 interceptions, 11 fumbles. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and I don't know what the numbers are, and I know you were frustrated at times because you guys would have a game or two here and there that you got a little penalty happy, and I know that from your first year to last year, the improvement on the number of times Laundry was on the field helped you a ton, and that's what we've been talking. Let's just be honest about Claymont football for years. It's you got to have the kids have discipline. When somebody's mouthing off on the other side, just smile and line up and go, because they're trying to get you to do something dumb, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I realized I talked to a couple of officials, and I just asked them. I said, how do you see Claymont? How did you used to see Claymont? And he said, they were tired of they were constantly being yelled at by the players, and players they were telling me all this stuff and everything. And when I look at our players now,
they don't say that no more, Coach.
No, because one of my cousins, a couple of my cousins are officials. Bruce Lowry.
Yep, I know old Bruce.
Yeah.
I deal with Bruce every week down at the racetrack.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he's my cousin, and he's an official, and I'm always running things by him.
Yep.
And, and we put such a focus on eliminating the turnovers.
Yeah.
And one thing I've learned in coaching, what you focus on the most is what you're going to be best at.
Yep.
And, and I truly believe that. And so the things that we're focusing on, some things this year that I truly believe that the fans are going to enjoy.
Well, look, Coach, you've been successful everywhere you've been, and there's there's a reason for that, right? It just is. Any coach that moves around and then comes home, but has had success at every stop, there's a reason why. And like I said, people don't say that like they did a few years ago, and that's not a knock on any coach that's been at Claymont over the last 15, 20 years. It's not a knock. It's just a fact.
Yes.
Right? And when you look at it now all of a sudden you start cleaning up those penalties, you start cleaning up the play, you start not turning the football over, and then boom, you're in the playoffs.
Well, I think the most important thing, and I think that we do a really, really good job, we develop football players.
Yeah.
Because you can have a great athlete and everything, but you got to develop that athlete into being football players. And we put a lot of time, a lot of effort into developing these guys. And that's why I'm so happy, year 3, now that we got 2 layers of weightlifting, 2 layers of muscle on us now, our kids are playing with tremendous confidence. I mean, they are so confident right now. And we go to East Liverpool tomorrow, and I won't be mad if we got slapped down, because it's one of those things that come on.
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah. But these guys are so excited, and but I'm gonna tell you what, we're where I want to be. They have the attitude that I want.
Yep.
You
got to have a little bit of swag.
They go,
right?
Yeah.
And
our kids definitely have the swag, but the most important thing is our kids love each other.
That's good.
They are so tight. They are thick as thieves out there, and you know what? They enjoy coming to practice. Mm-hmm. We don't make it a grind. We get our work done, and they know that. You get your work done, you can have a little bit of fun.
Yep.
And our kids come to practice, and they have so much fun, and in our practices, and we get work done. And that's always the most important thing. And and the community is so excited. Yeah. It's going to be crazy next Friday night at Mustang Stadium.
Ready to go.
I'm ready to go. It's like I said, man, if we can get us a great big old Ferris wheel and, get us a merry-go-round.
50 cents a ride,
Coach.
Coach.
There you go, man. Fundraiser.
There you go.
But that would be, I've always said that. I've always wanted to do something like that. I want to be a
Yeah.
really family atmosphere. I want the little kids to come.
Listen, get a sponsor, and we can bring game day on the road.
Oh, there you go.
Bring game day on the road.
There you go.
Logan?
Coach, winning, we all know that winning is contagious, and when you see the winning at the high school level, you build that good culture, and that culture only spreads to the middle school programs, to the youth programs at Claymont. So, just talk about what has been the overall message to your team this year, because in reality, now that you're winning, you've got those little kids. They're looking up to these guys now.
Oh, they're heroes.
Yep.
Yeah, and that this is just like when I was one of those little kids one time.
Yep.
And the varsity football players were my heroes. One of the things I'm real big on. We only have one rule. Don't embarrass the program.
100%.
And
you embarrass the program, you embarrass the school, you embarrass the community, not just yourself.
And that's
right?
exactly right.
Yep.
And our kids are always involved in the community. Anytime they call, hey, can you guys help us? You got some guys that can help? Man, our guys will go there, and they love it. And they're having so like I said, the one thing that we had to do as far as change the culture is that we've got to start being really, really good young men.
Yep.
Guys that have goals.
Well, and that's what it's about.
Dreams.
Building better men for society, not just in football, right? The lessons are bigger.
Yep. And I always tell, and the players we have now, all they talk about is we want to win every game. Right. Yep. I said, okay, then I will prepare you to win every game.
Yep.
But you guys are the ones that's got to go out there and ball.
Absolutely.
And so, I'm happy about where the program is. I'm very happy about this year's team. They're really good kids, and I love those guys. I'm another one that loves coming to practice every day, just to be around those guys, watching them put the work in, and they're very confident. They're very, very confident. So they're like at the East Liverpool thing. It's a scrimmage, but our kids are going to play lights out down there, and we'll find out where we are.
Absolutely.
We'll have a better idea of where we are after this next scrimmage.
Yep. Well, that is head coach Buddy White in his third year of the 5-year process. Not that he's leaving after 5 years. It's just a 5-year process.
Okay.
It's all brought to you by Altman Health Systems and the Kind Company here on the Big Z Sports Preview Show. Hey, Coach, thank you so much for always opening up your program. We look forward to covering you all season long, and best of luck.
Hey, you guys do a great job, and I really appreciate it. The food is good. I will tell you that.
I know that.
It is good.
Sammy Sue's Barbecue, come get you some while we're still here. And the Claymont Mustangs brought to you by Ron's Heating and Cooling. We'll be back with more coaches right after this.
Ron's Heating and Cooling in Denison has been serving this great area since 1977. At Ron's, no matter what you need, they can handle it. From heating and cooling to standby Generac generators, water heaters, tankless water heaters, mobile home equipment, duct cleaning, and 24-hour no-heat service. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call 740-922-5252. Ron's Heating and Cooling proudly supports high school sports and would like to wish best of luck to all local athletes participating this season.
PAC Drilling, a family-owned and operated company since 2005 in Bolivar, takes pride in being an economic oil and gas drilling company. PAC's objective is to contribute to American energy independence through profitable development, operation, and marketing of oil and natural gas wells. PAC also employs operating technicians to oversee each and every well drilled to maximize its productivity and longevity. Contact PAC Drilling at pacdrilling.com.
Altman Health System has been caring for our community for over 130 years. This includes 24/7 emergency services, heart care, surgery, orthopedics, radiology, cancer care, and more. We serve 7 counties with community locations, including Altman Hospital, Altman Alliance Community Hospital, Altman Maslin, Altman Orville Hospital, Altman Tuscaroras Regional Health, and more. Altman Health System. Today, tomorrow, and always. We're here for you.
Big Z Sports is two-a-days.
Two-a-days.
Knew that was coming at some point tonight. It is the high school football preview show here in 2026. The reason that I made that slip up, Nick McWilliams and Logan McPeak, is because not too long ago, we were out in Bowerston for the two-a-days for this team, the Canotton Valley Rockets, and head coach Derek O'Hara. I'm sorry, Coach. It's been a long day.
I get it. It's all good.
Hey, school right around the corner, actually getting back in session here, and, for all so many of these different area schools, for you guys, I know very exciting, obviously, getting back to class, but a very exciting year for the Rockets because you have so much back from last year's team. You did lose a lot of the offensive production that you had from last year, but, when we were out there watching you guys go to work, it's always exciting watching how Canotton Valley likes to run the offense.
Yeah. First off, again, thanks for having us. Thanks for all the coverage. It's amazing what you guys do for the kids. I mean, when you spread it out, Coach Hurtler and I talk all the time. Spread it out, put some points on the board, try to have some fun, and make it fun for the kids. And that's paid off for us. We've had a couple really good seasons, and numbers are up. We're up to 28, so we want to keep building.
Yeah, you got a secret weapon on the sideline this year, too, with another coach added on there, right?
Yeah. You get Zebby out there,
Yeah, I'll pray for you, okay?
Coach, taking a look at your schedule this year, you've got 3 playoff teams in a row from weeks 2 through 4, which is a gauntlet in itself. And then your schedule, it doesn't get any easier. You add Bishop Rosecrans, who you guys played in the playoffs last year, and what was a barn burner of a game. And then Weird Madonna is back on the schedule this year for you guys. Talk about your schedule this year and how it's going to prepare you guys if you can get into the playoffs.
Yeah, the toughest thing about the schedule this year is we got 6 road games. So, we're going to have to do some business on the road this year.
A lot of travel with that OVAC schedule, too.
yeah, exactly. But we don't have the 2-hour road trips that we had last year, so we'll take that. But, anytime, you play all these local schools, all these coaches are phenomenal. They do a really nice job. They prepare you for the playoffs. And, week in and week out, no games are easy. So, just right off the bat, Gio's building at TCC, like you talked about with Rosecrans again, it's going to be a battle. And then you get in the grinder with Cumberstown and Strasburg, who were very good battles for us last year. They both do a really nice job with their program. And then Madonna's coming in. And, get back to the second half tail, you're talking about some OVAC schools. And, sometimes you don't know what to expect. They get new bodies in down there on the river sometimes, and it can be an adventure. But, you just want to do the best you can and try to finish the season better than you started it, and get ready for the playoffs.
Now, it might not be the case for a lot of the teams from the area that know you guys pretty well, but is it ever fun whenever you go on a road trip or welcome in someone who maybe isn't as familiar with you and they see what you've got back there in the pocket? Because in Division VII football, you don't often find a passer like Caden Leggett.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because week 10 last year, we went up to Matthews, and Caden lit it up. I forget how many touchdowns he had, like 9.
I think it was 9.
Something crazy.
I think it was 9.
Yeah. And we were trying to run out the clock, and they kept scoring, and we're like, all right, we got to score again, keep the clock running, and a coach from Youngstown came over to me after the game and was like, hey, you want to come clinic with me? I really like what you did. I was like, anytime, just reach out, and it's just, I've learned this stuff from other people, and, you get a good coaching circle, and, it's fun, all the people you get to meet. I got to speak at a Glazier clinic this past off season, so, it's just an adventure, and I'm glad our program's getting recognized and the kids are getting recognized for the things that they're accomplishing. They're making the plays. I'm just calling.
Now, Coach, with that air raid offense with Caden, who just lit it up in general all of last season, but you return, you lose a Cam Wright and a Gavin Haney, who were critical pieces to that offense last year. But Garrett Ryder, who had an outstanding season last year, RJ Higginbotham is back this year for you guys. You guys have another guy coming in, and Jack Owens, who is going to be pretty good for you guys. So talk about the skill guys around Caden this year that's going to aid him.
Yeah, we went in the offseason, we knew we had some guys back, and we were trying to evaluate, are we going to stick with what we're doing, or are we going to adjust? But, I really think we have 8 guys that we can throw out there at receiver, and I feel pretty comfortable putting those guys out there to make plays. And, that's a good luxury to have, in case somebody gets banged up, you can just insert those guys, Like you said, Garrett has been phenomenal for us the last couple years, and RJ had a really good freshman year. Jack is really going to step into a more bigger role this year. He was only a sophomore last year. You got Nick Bolin, you got Tyler Kowalski, who burst on the scene a little bit defensively last year, but he's going to have a bigger role offensively. Brady Espen, she's a freshman coming in for us. Connor Lute's a sophomore who's really stepping into Cam's role in our offense. So, those guys are all doing a really nice job. They've grown a lot this offseason, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
Now, we know the season last year ended in the second round. I mean, going into a playoff berth is obviously a very good accomplishment, but, every coach wants to do a little bit step further, a little bit more in the next season. For you guys, especially with your returning, letter winners and such from last year, what are you telling them about what it's going to take to get past that second round? Then we get to talk about the third round, and we talk about the fourth round and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a mentality. You know it's a grind. I think about the run 2 years ago when we got into the Sweet 16, and unfortunately, that game didn't end well. We had a fumble in the last possession, but when we got to that point, our kids, we were a player-led team. Those guys guided our whole program, and it was a really strong group of seniors, and we kind of have that right now. Like, the seniors have really stepped up, and when you get to that point in the season, you got to know you're going to face good teams, and going down to 12 teams in the playoffs, it's going to be even tougher this year. So, you got to be prepared every week, and you can't have any off weeks. You just got to go and grind away.
Now, Coach, what's been your overall message to your group of guys this year? Assuming you've had some scrimmages already, so talk about through practice and two-a-days and scrimmages, what's been your overall message to your team this year?
It's kind of been our mantra, raise the standard. For so long, Connaughton was so bad, and 0-10, 1-9, and it just trickled on and on. And in the last 7 years, we've really been able to build something under Coach Hertler and myself. But it's a credit to the kids. They've put in the time, and they've dedicated themselves, and the parents and the community, they see what we're doing. And, we want to raise that standard and make it the expectation. We were at Mount this year, and one of our senior offensive linemen, Robbie Levengood, they were all eating lunch, and, I was just kind of listening in from the next table, and he says, when we make the playoffs, we're getting another home game. I was like, ooh, that's a little different than what I've heard.
It's a good goal. Speak it into existence kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's the mindset you want to have. Those kids believe in what we've done, and they want to get back to that. They had that feeling of a couple home games, and like, this is awesome,
Yeah.
So we want to try to, like I said, raise the standard and keep it going.
Always a great advantage to have 2 home games in the playoffs.
Yes.
Everybody.
It makes everybody happy. It makes the business club happy, makes the community happy.
Yep.
So,
a little less stressful for you, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate your time. Something really cool that you don't get to see behind the scenes here with our preview show is sitting over there at the table was Coach O'Hara, as well as Gio from TCC, and Coach Mo from Strasburg. All opponents eventually this season, but it's so much fun being able to talk with them, right? Even though that you're going to be opponents on the field, still get to bounce off ideas and just talk about football.
Yeah, you get the opportunity, all the coaches are here. You get to sit and chat and just be a regular person for once, and you're not, just talking about your program, and you just shoot the breeze a little bit and have a little fun.
Yeah, well, Coach, we greatly appreciate your time, and we'll be right there along for the ride with the Rockets this season, and we certainly look forward to it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Head Coach Derek O'Hara for the Connaughton Valley Rockets, and stay tuned. More of the 2026 high school football preview show from Sammy Sue's is on the way after this.
Other guy's insurance, you got Kyle.
Hey Kyle, it's Brenda. I was just reading through your proposal and I have a few questions.
When we drafted up your proposal, we really aimed right down the middle.
Sometimes wonder if your insurance agent true priority is more time on the golf course. At Hummel, we do insurance differently. Our expert advisors help you not only mitigate risk, but operate more efficiently, decrease employee turnover, and increase your bottom line.
Technology shouldn't slow us down. It should move us forward. At LodgeVision Technologies, we've been helping local businesses for over 12 years on US 62 in Winesburg, solving tech problems and making everyday operations easier. And we're here with custom IT solutions that just simply work. At LodgeVision, it's people first. That means service with integrity, professionalism, and genuine care. Call 330-234-5025 for your free consultation today. LodgeVision Technologies, local IT, real solutions, people first.
If there's a new driver in the house, the East Central Ohio Educational Service Center is ready to help them hit the road with confidence. Through the Drive to Succeed Scholarship, eligible Ohio teens under 21 may qualify for funding to cover driver education, making it easier to get started. With flexible online learning and in-car training options, ECO ESC Driver Services helps students build skills for the road and beyond. Don't wait, start driving toward your future today. To learn more or apply, visit drivetosucceed.org or contact Trudy Lewis at trudy.lewis@ecoesc.org.
Welcome back to the Big C Football Season Preview, live from Sammy Sue's in Dover. Beautiful weather to come out to Sammy Sue's, sit on the patio tonight. Bill Morgan back with Roger Metzger. And Roger, we're joined by a guy now who has done a great job at TCC, facing some challenges. Coach Gio's here, and it's been impressive what's happened in the early part of his stay there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
Well, you know what? Talk to us about the thing that impresses me most, Coach, and you probably could care less what the media thinks, and that's more than fair, but you've really got the numbers up at TCC. A, how did you do that? B, how is it going with that regard?
It's been great. You know, I'm right around 30 kids. You know, some days it might be 31, some days you're 29, but, you know, right around 30. It's been at TCC, the biggest thing is, you know, we've given the school like a purpose as far as the football program. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of always skated in the background for a long time. So we as a coaching staff have really invested in our players, in their lives. And one thing I found with today's youth, you know, there's challenges in every generation in coaching kids. One thing I found in this generation is they want you to show a vested interest in them. They're not just showing up to grind out a practice and go, and that's the only relationship they want with you. So I kind of felt like as I've shown interest in their lives, the student body showed interest in football program. You know what I mean? It's kind of been like a shared effort. So, yeah, we're at the 30 kids. I got about 60 in the school, boys. So, you know, 50% is, you know, I think that's about I think I'm winning that among the other coaches. But it's really been exciting. You know, we're getting excited for football, and we're growing. You know, we're getting better every day.
Well, what's the I know it's still early, but what's the outlook for the 2026 team? What do you
We have a lot of talent this year. You know, it's the first year we're not relying on freshmen to start. You know, that's always been hard when you're growing a program. You know, we're up to, you know, we got some sophomores starting, but lots of juniors and seniors playing. The season can be as good as they make it, right? We definitely have talent to compete in the IBC. Now it's time for the boys to believe in themselves, to believe that they're ready for that big jump forward, and to start showing it on the field. So, you know, it's up to the boys, and I'm really expecting them to take a big step forward. You never know until the season starts how it's going to go.
Exactly.
But we're getting to the point where now they're physically and mentally getting ready to compete with the IBC and our other, you know, non-league schedule.
Yeah. Do you have a different non-league schedule this year than you did in the previous?
Same one for this year. Yep, same one. Starting out with Connaught Valley, Derek O'Hara. You guys just had on. Starting out on this upcoming Thursday, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, what's that going to be like, a Thursday night game? Have you guys?
Yeah, we did. We've done that so this is my third year doing that with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he approached me about doing it. It's been really well. You know, it's nice. Gives us a chance for the media to give us a little bit of coverage, something a little bit different. Then the kids can go experience a game on Friday. So I have a Thursday and 2 Saturday games this year.
Wow.
So it gives my kids a chance to go experience Friday night football at other venues.
You sound like you got an NFL schedule there.
I'm trying. You know, we're on Thanksgiving and Christmas. No, not this year yet.
The Big Z Sports Preview from Sammy Sue's being brought to you in part by Altman Health Systems and Keim Lumber, joined by Coach Iono. And Coach, I guess let's talk about strengths of the football team. We mentioned one strength is your numbers are up offensively, defensively. Where are you most confident headed into the campaign?
I'm really looking forward to a strong run game out of our team. Our offensive line is intact from last year. We have everyone coming back. We did start a couple freshmen. Now they're sophomores, but they're really taking a big step forward as sophomores. I believe that growth from a freshman to sophomore is huge. It's almost as big as from sophomore to senior. So, you know, we have our full line back. We have good running backs back. So we're really looking forward to a strong run game. And then I also think that returns a strong defensive run game. So that's kind of going to be the strengths of our season.
Coach, talk to us about two things. The improvement we've seen in TCC, how important is it you're a TCC guy making that happen? And tell us about the Fieldhouse project underway.
Yeah, the Fieldhouse. We actually have this groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow. So, yeah, that's tomorrow. So TCC is a rich tradition in football. A lot of people, may not know that because of recent history. But, obviously I've said this before, Indy Valley won state championship 2024. Previous to that was St. Joseph in the 60s.
Correct.
And St. Mary's before them in the 60s as well. So, in the 70s and 80s, the guys that were around here for that, TCC had great football. So I think the TCC community is hungry for a good football program to reemerge itself, to become players in the IVC every year. So, it's kind of neat seeing some of the old guard back around, starting to see, the excitement, for TCC to kind of get back to their tradition, their roots.
Tell us about, a little bit more about the history. Not that we want you to go on for 25 minutes, but about that. But when you look back at what Coach Art Tyner did when he was there and they were very strong, I believe until late in Coach If's career, Coach Tyner was the all-time winningest high school football coach in the county.
Yes, he was, and he even started, he was the first president of the Ohio High School Football Coach Association. Art Tyner was a legendary coach in the 60s. He was, for St. Joe's. He then became the head coach and was there from 71 to 92, 93, I forget. He had a great run. He's one of the, again, like a Dan If, like an all-time legend in our area. In TCC was able to compete with everyone in the area for years upon years. Even in the 60s, we had a great run as a county, as a football program in the county. And now we're starting to get to the point where, you kind of dip down a little bit. It's starting to rise back up.
Sure.
It's starting to be excitement back up again, So it's a rich tradition, Catholic, football teams in this area. And I'm just looking to try to take another step to get back to it.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. How was your food tonight?
It was good.
What did you have?
Pulled pork. I did the pulled pork.
So
you were at a barbecue place.
Very good, wasn't
Pulled
it?
pork. Yeah, it was very good. So,
again, we appreciate your time. Best of luck, and we'll look forward to seeing and being a part of your broadcast game coming up next Thursday.
All right, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Coach Iono from the great folks up at Central Catholic. So much good things going on. You heard him talk about the Fieldhouse groundbreaking going on tomorrow. You'll continue to hear more about that with WJER and Big Z Sports. More on our football preview show from Sammy Sue's coming up.
There's something special about Newtown Mall. It's more than just a place to shop, it's where the community comes together. Whether you're finding the perfect gift, meeting up with friends, or just enjoying a stroll through your favorite stores, it's a great time anytime. With local favorites, familiar faces, and new experiences waiting around every corner, there's always a reason to visit. Stay connected and see what's happening. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram or visit newtownmall.com today.
Newtown Mall, a great time anytime. Newtown Mall, this town is your town.
Hi, this is Jan McInturf. The past 30 years, the residents in and around the Tuscarawas County have made the call to the realtors and staff of McInturf Realty for buying and selling their residential and commercial properties. We truly live in a great community, and in all of those communities, there is nothing better than high school sports. For myself and all the agents and staff at McInturf Realty, we would like to wish all the area athletes good luck this season. And make the call to McInturf Realty, 330-364-SOLD, or find us online at McInturfRealty.net.
Simona Bolteron is a global leader in plastics technology, manufacturing thermoplastic products for industries such as aircraft interior parts, medical device housings, wall coverings, general thermoforming, and many more. Simona Bolteron, a company like a friend, is proud to be a part of the community and wishes all local athletes good luck and have a great year. For more information, visit them online at Bolteron.com. Simona Bolteron, 1 General Street, Newcomerstown.
Welcome back to the Big C Sports Preview Show, brought to you by Altman Health Systems and the Kime Company. Logan McPeak, Travis McClellan, joined by Newcomerstown head coach Dirk Gadd. Their games brought to you all season long by Simona Bolteron. And, Coach, your 10th year. Just think about where you were a decade ago, and Newcomerstown had lost, 28 games in a row or something like that?
It was something like that. I'm trying not to think about a decade ago. Time goes fast, but, I guess you don't really appreciate when you start having success unless you have been there when you weren't having success. So, I'm happy we are where we are right now.
And to think about where you guys are now, IVC North champions 2 out of the last 3 years in the league, multiple playoff appearances. I know you don't appreciate losing to the other orange and black team 8 miles down the road on 36, but just talk about the overall the trend of your success of your program, which has been tremendous over the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, the kids have really bought in to what we're trying to accomplish. It started in the weight room. We've been in the weight room, each year we get better and better. We're stronger than we've ever been, and I feel like that's been the trend over the last several years, is overall we're stronger as a team. I'm probably have learned a lot as a coach as well. Maybe, if I'd known then what I know now, maybe we would have won some more football games. So some of that's probably on me for sure. But yeah, the kid, we have really good kids that have bought in, work hard. They're just hard-nosed kids, and they're fun to coach.
Coach, what would year 10 Coach Dirk Gadd tell year 1 Coach Dirk Gadd, or vice versa? What would be your advice to a young Dirk Gadd?
Probably that it's a process. I remember coming in thinking, we're just going to win right away, and who doesn't think
Absolutely.
that?
Why take the job if you don't?
Right,
think that, right?
And that's what we wanted to do, and it really is a process. And I've told people before, when there's coaches that are doing the right things, give them a chance because it does take time.
Yeah, great accomplishments in your career. Hosted your first playoff game under you. Lots of success. But let's talk about your I'm not even going to call it a hybrid role. I'm going to call it a dual role down there in Newcomerstown, what you do for the program. Did you just go ahead and just say, hey, I'm not going to sleep till maybe winter?
Yeah.
Let me preface that for don't know. He's the AD and the head football coach, 2 double full-time jobs.
Yeah. I was just telling somebody, I said, there's times I'll be out there on the field with the kids and my phone rings. I'm like, hold on, guys, I got to take this. I'm like, I got to work on scheduling freshman volleyball games. They just kind of look at me. But, I enjoy all athletics, and I want the best for all of the kids in Newcomerstown, not just the ones that are playing football.
Sure.
Newcomerstown has done a lot for me, and I just want to give back to the community.
So how many times you wake up at 3 in the morning working on something because it's on your mind, doing both jobs?
I was up at 3 in the morning this morning, but I was watching our old film from Crooksville last year. So,
speaking of Crooksville, talking about your schedule, you return 8 out of your 10 opponents. You add Utica, who is, I believe, a division higher than you guys.
They are.
And then Caldwell, who's always a formidable opponent. I believe they made the state 2 years ago in the Final Four.
Did,
always a tough opponent with them. But talk about that Week 1 matchup with Crooksville. I know you've mentioned it a few times that one really left a bad taste in your guys' mouth last year.
And, I just watched it at 3 in the morning again. So, I'm really familiar with how it went. Looking back, fundamentally, I just didn't think I had our kids ready. I think a lot of that was on me. We had a couple injuries in that game. We lost our quarterback right after halftime. We had some things that just didn't go our way. But I didn't think we were playing the type of football that we needed to be playing at that point. And so this year, the coaching staff's made an emphasis on making sure we're ready for game 1.
And, Coach, we talked earlier, you're still coaching the offensive line. I love that. Get them rolling. But we're going to talk about your offense for a minute. Near and dear to my heart, running the wing tee, right? A little power football. And, so you averaged 33 points a game and put almost 40 touchdowns on the ground last year. So talk about your offense just a little bit.
Yeah, similar to the wing tee, wishbone.
Right.
Same scheme.
Scheme up front.
Scheme up front. But, I really have a soft spot in my heart for blocking. I don't think that there's a more selfless thing that you can do besides, to block to help your team win a game or to help your teammate score a touchdown. And, I honestly sometimes get a little emotional about it.
Sure.
That's how much I care about blocking.
Right.
I tell all of our guys, we are all blockers.
Yeah.
That is what we do first. We
love
block for each other.
I love it.
So we put a lot of emphasis on the fundamentals, the footwork that goes along with blocking, and I think that has been the key to some of the success we've had.
Yeah, 40 touchdowns, almost 40 touchdowns on the ground speaks to what you're talking about.
And, Coach, you lose the guy last year that accounted for over half of those touchdowns in your all-time leading scorer, and Dom Singer. And you lose a couple other key guys off that backfield. Josh Harvey was a key guy for you guys, and Tanner Smith on the outside, who's your all-time touchdown reception leader. But you return your signal caller and J.J. Justice, who was a weapon on the ground as well. You returned a very good offensive lineman, Martin Hernandez, and Mason Shalosky, who it seems like I think he's mentioned about 430, I believe. So
I think it's more like 500.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, we got We lost, obviously, a senior class that set something like 15 school records in the 4 years that they were there.
Wow.
So we definitely have some kids that we need to replace, and what we're going to do is probably spread the ball out a little bit more, not as far as throwing it, but get some kids different carries, and JJ might run the ball a little more this year, and we got Lucas Justice that can step into the backfield, and Mason's returning in the backfield, and we got Quentin McKee this year who's going to play a role in the backfield. So we got some guys that can still carry the football, but it's hard to replace a senior class like the one we lost.
Yeah, let's jump to the defensive side of the ball, Coach. Only giving up 20 points a game last year, so you're scoring at almost 35 and only giving up 20. You like to see that ratio. Let's talk a little bit about your defense there.
Yeah, and that's giving up 20 points a game, and I think the average starting position for them was like the 45-yard line.
Wow.
So, we got to work on the kicking thing a little bit we can help our defense out. But, we got Martin back on defense. He's a force. Bryce Gibbs, our other D tackle. He also is very tough kids, come a long way. Mason's back at inside linebacker. I think we bring back all but 3 kids on defense.
Okay.
So we're really excited about
Hanging
the kids
your hat
we're
on
bringing
the defensive
back.
side of the ball as well. Bright things ahead for Newcomerstown.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, the back half of your schedule, 5 out of your 6 last games are all playoff teams, and that includes the North, which was 5 out of 6 teams in the North made the playoffs last year. So just talk about the IVC this coming year, because we know year in and year out the North is always so competitive between every single team this year.
Yeah, we tried to beef up our off-season schedule to prepare us for that IVC North schedule, and I really think that last year, we played some tough teams. We played a tough Claymont team last year, a tough Harrison Central team last year. Crooksville, we lost some games early on, and I don't think that we, win all of our conference games if it wasn't for some of those lessons we learned in those first games.
Coach, as we get ready to wrap this up, talk about Friday night at the stadium. Talk about the community support, the school support, because it's great down there. I've been to games down there. We talked about that, and you get a great following down there. You're taken care of. Talk about that, just atmosphere and the community support on Friday nights.
Yeah, we have tons of support, a lot of Trojan pride down there. Friday nights are exciting, and I feel like, over the last several years, people just get more and more excited about Trojan football. It's a great environment. We got a beautiful grass field. Our field looks better than it's ever looked right now. Now we got a few games here. We're playing on it recently, so I hope it still looks that way. But
I'm sure.
We're lucky to just have great facilities in
beautiful
Newcomerstown.
down there. Beautiful.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate your time with Big Z Sports, and we always appreciate you opening up your program to us here at Big Z Sports. And we'll see you a couple times on the Big Z Sports airwaves this year.
Yep, I look forward to it, guys.
Yeah, Coach, really appreciate what you do for us, allowing us into your program, and coming up to things like this, taking the time out. We truly appreciate that, and we wish nothing but the best from the Trojans here.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was head coach Dirk Gadd of the Newcomerstown Trojans. We'll be back with another coach here on the Big Z Sports preview show from Sammy Sue's.
When you pick up fresh deli meats and cheeses at your favorite local store, there's a good chance it started at Walnut Creek Foods. For years, Walnut Creek Foods has proudly supplied stores throughout Tuscarawas County with quality meats, cheeses, Amish-made favorites, bakery items, and specialty foods families know and love. Because around here, local matters, fresh matters, and relationships matter. From small town markets to family dinner tables, Walnut Creek Foods is proud to help bring the flavor of Amish country home. Walnut Creek Foods, supporting local stores and the communities they serve.
Let the experts at Bear Carpet One in Sugar Creek help you pick out the right window treatment for you. Bear is now carrying Alta Window Fashions. Their cost-effective, made-in-America blinds and shades come in many styles. Honeycomb, roller shades, wood, faux wood, aluminum, and vertical blinds. Even custom shutters in many fabrics and materials. Alta blinds and shades can be automated through a remote, smartphone, or even voice. Come check out Bear's Alta display. Bear Carpet One, just off Route 39 in the Salzburg Plaza in Sugar Creek.
Ever get a free quote that costs you $100 or a limited time offer that actually doesn't end? Here at Dover Philly Heating and Cooling, we skip the drama. No hidden fees, no fine print. Just honest folks helping you find the right HVAC system. So if you're in need of information for a new furnace, AC, or HVAC product, call me, Diana, at Dover Philly Heating and Cooling, your local trained comfort specialist in downtown Dover, 330-343-5511. Available 24/7 since 1981.
The Tuscarawas County dairy farmers want you to know that low-fat chocolate milk is a great choice for student athletes and hard workers. It provides the nutrition needed after practices, games, or a hard day at work, and it tastes great. Low-fat chocolate milk is packed with carbohydrates for energy, proteins to repair muscles, fluids to rehydrate, plus vitamins and minerals to help build strong bones and bodies. It's the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Tuscarawas County Dairy Farmers. Farms, family, food.
It is the 2026 High School Football Preview Show. Yes, we do have an extra special guest now joining us for the next segment. Logan McPeak and Nick McWilliams live here from Sammy Sue's Barbecue in Dover. Got to stop on down sometime and try some Sammy Sue's. And our next coach joining us, head coach Derek, I almost said Derek O'Harrigan, I'm sorry, Matt Churico. I saw the green. Boy, it's been a banner day so far. It's Matt Churico for the Malvern Hornets. Coach, first of all, you got a special guest here joining us. Who you got?
This is my youngest, Kellen. Hi, can you say hi?
Hi.
Now, what's really funny is there's actually a tie with him to Big Z Sports.
Yes, there is.
What would that be?
Well, that was the game back in 2022.
I remember this.
Wife had decided to go in labor, and he was born. And hey, like he's at this age now that it's a lot of fun. He goes to practice every day. He has his whistle. He likes to be in charge.
You better hope that the better half's not listening right now, because you said decides to go into labor. That might go over great. Well, Coach, for Malvern, there's been a lot of recent success that you guys have had, and I know it's been a long time coming for the Hornets. The improvements that have been made through the years. And that's not an easy task. A lot of people don't get to see the day in and day out and all the dedication that you guys put forward to making that happen. But it's also really helped that, the culture, everyone's kind of bought into that.
Yeah, I mean, it has. The last, like 5 or 6 years now, we've had a really good run. Just with, good teams year in and year out. It's kind of what our kids expect. They show up, they work hard, they expect to win, not hope to win. And it does. It's kind of a snowball, and it goes on to the next team, and they don't want to be that team that kind of, lets things down.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a group this year that they're fun to be around. We really do. Our numbers are down a little bit, but they're a fun group. They come practice every day. They work hard. So we're really, I'm excited to see what we can do.
And Coach, we always say winning is contagious, and that spreads down not just from your senior class last year, which was really successful, but this class wants to take that next step, and then that inspires the youth programs, the middle school programs, and your freshmen coming in, that they want to take that next step in that torch. So talk about, I guess, what's been the message so far to your boys as you've gone through scrimmages and two-a-days so far.
When you guys came out last week, I said, one thing about our seniors is our seniors are kind of a group that really kind of lead by example, and they weren't really vocal. The last week and a half, they've really kind of stepped up that vocal, and it's been the perfect combination of pushing our kids and praising our younger classmen at the same time. So I've been really happy with the way our seniors have led, and I think it's a group that, as the year goes on, we're gonna get better, just because we're gonna break in a lot of new kids at certain positions. But our first half of the year, how fast are we going to gel? How fast is it we're going to get into a rhythm of things?
Well, something that I thought was really awesome too. The way that you the way that you guys teach your players, like understanding that success that they were going to have if they put in the effort, if they buy in, but also still having that humbleness and that humility. Because as we were leaving the field last week when we were stopped and saw you guys, Jackson Jones was one of the first people to say, well, thank you guys. Thank you. He said "sir" somewhere in there. I don't know how he did, but that's kind of what you want to emulate to the players, right? Understanding that you expect a certain level of success, you will work hard to get that level of success, but you'll still keep that humble attitude.
Yeah, and like I said, our senior kids are like I said, they're just really, really good kids. They're nice kids, come from good families, and they're very polite.
Mm-hmm. Now, Coach, taking a look at your schedule, you have 4 new opponents in the first 5 games, and 3 of them are playoff teams all in a row from weeks 2 to 4 in a gauntlet. McDonald, who was just, I believe, was in the state semifinal in Division 7, and a very good East Palestine team, and a Mogador team that's a traditional powerhouse every single year. So, and then you put Sandy Valley back on the schedule this year, which is obviously a big rival for you guys. And personally, I feel like that game should be played every year.
Yeah, and it actually, for the time being, it is. For the next 2 years, we got them week 5, and then once they go to their new league, we're going to open with them week 1 on Thursday night. So that would be 2028. But yeah, I mean, our schedule. It's we got some really good teams on there, non-league and league, and for us, I think the most important thing is, hey, we just got to take it a day at a time. We got a good Fairless team tomorrow for our second scrimmage, and we just want to be better than we were last week. And then, hey, we got to worry about week 1 and winning week 1.
Now, you guys are going to be bringing back some of the integral parts to your offense from last year, and defense for that matter. But there were some new names that we were talking about that, could really be making an impact this year.
Yeah, I mean, really for us, it starts out up front. I mean, we bring back four starters up front, and really early on, we're really going to lean on them to kind of lead the way. I mean, you got 3 seniors in Harmon, Kasler, and Walters, and then you bring back Brennan Mitchell, and then we have a sophomore Rocco Faro that's going to step in there that. Like I said, it's a pretty good unit. They have good size.
With a name like Rocco, you can't go wrong.
And then, Jackson, of course, being his second year as quarterback. In the backfield, Luke Thomas rotated in there last year. He didn't rotate in a lot just because you had Julius, and he was, a 25-carry type of kid. And then receivers were breaking in, really 4 new receivers. I mean, Grady and Cam, and those guys, they rotated in. Jeremiah Fatch. And you add in Bentley Vukic, just sophomore. So, like I said, a lot of kids that have kind of waited their time, and now the time is now.
Well, Coach, we kind of touched on this a little bit in the 2-a-days, but I believe it was four of those guys that are starting for you this year were on that basketball team that was into the state Final Four, and their leadership. You talked about it, their leadership has been crucial so far through these first couple weeks of 2-a-days and scrimmages. So how does their success, how does that up the level of intensity at practices, knowing that those guys have had that level of success and the other guys want to taste that feeling of success?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, our guys like Grady and Luke and Jackson and Brennan that were on those teams, it's kind of just what they expect. They expect to, hey, you come to practice, you work hard. And like I said, our younger kids, we're breaking in some younger kids at some positions, and it's really about those guys, trying them to show them the right way and the way we do things. And again, young kids, sometimes it does. You got to be patient. You got to take some time. You got to praise them a lot, but at the same time, you got to teach too.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate your time. We'll be there along the way for Malvern this year. And before we go, I think Kellen wanted to say something.
You want to put this on?
Yeah.
You excited for football season, buddy?
Yeah.
It's going to be a good year?
Yeah.
You got anything to say?
Yeah.
What? Say go Hornets.
Go Hornets.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. Head coach Matt Chirico for the Malvern Hornets. Coach, we look forward to seeing you this season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That segment brought to you by Kishman's IGA. And stay tuned. We're going to be wrapping up your 2026 high school football preview show here shortly with Big Z Sports.
Are you ready to take the next step toward your future? Join us for the next Buckeye Career Center Open House Thursday, March 19th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. This is a combined high school and adult education event. Explore hands-on career tech labs and 10 full-time adult programs. Meet our staff and enjoy self-guided tours, plus a complimentary meal. High school students who apply for next school year receive a small gift, and adults will have their $50 application fee waived. Again, that's the next Buckeye Career Center Open House, March 19th.
Gillen Body Shop knows that when their business is needed, it's never planned and it can cause quite the inconvenience. That's why Gillen Body Shop makes the process as easy as possible for their customers by making sure the work is completed right the first time. Gillen Body Shop has experienced staff that give all completed work a 100% guarantee. So when those unplanned repairs to your vehicle are needed, there's only one choice. Gillen Body Shop on Cary Avenue in New Philadelphia. Find them on Facebook.
Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has just what you're looking for, so your athlete has the best gear for the sports they play. Dumont's has a large apparel selection and can handle your customized screen printing as well as embroidery for your team or business. For sporting goods and for all your apparel needs, Dumont Sporting Goods in Dover and Canton has everything you want to play and look your best.
Back here on the Big Z Sports High School Football Preview Show, we're with Strasburg coach Jim Morris, brought to you by Niedenthal and Company, Bill Hammerstrom, Travis McClellan. Coach, last year I think was a banner year for Strasburg. I'm already nostalgic about the 2025-26, not just football season. I mean, you got a state championship in girls basketball. The baseball team lasted as long as any other team in the county. How was the year at Strasburg? I'm nostalgic for it. What about you?
Oh, I am too. The young people really played out last year. Great leadership in all those sports. People playing the best of their ability, caring about each other, and the community really bonded with all that excitement. And in my heart, I believe it started with our fall season, and it carried over. Sure. And those kids really did a great job. And the girls, that's just something to be proud of when they go down there and win a state title in basketball. That was a great thing. And the baseball team, just Coach Becker's doing a great job. And they same kids that I got, and they just carried it over, and they're real good baseball players also.
Coach, you got the Tigers rolling in the right direction. 8-4 last year, won a playoff game, and exciting things in Tiger Town. Let's talk about that.
Well, it is. We lost a really good group of seniors, as most years you usually do. We're going to have to find some kids to step up, take those roles. But we also have a great group of kids coming up, and they understand what the locker room was like last year. That was one of our prideful things. We wanted to establish the locker room, and the kids really took it over and made it theirs. And now this year they are stepping up, and they own the locker room this year. They are incredible.
When you talk about that playoff win last year, just the atmosphere at home, and how incredible was that Brody Boffman 82-yard touchdown run in that game? How did that feel standing on the sidelines?
That was incredible, because at first I thought he was going to be sacked for about a 15-yard loss, and he made some moves and showed a speed that I really didn't see much of, and he really turned that game around. That was a huge play when we needed it, and it was electrifying. It was a lot of fun to see.
Coach, speaking of that, and just you being on the sidelines watching that, we talk about this, your staff and you led that. And, it's nothing but love from me to you. I think you're awesome. I would vote for you for mayor. You know that. I told you in 11 years when I retire, I'm going to come coach for you, and I truly mean that. But talk about keeping your staff intact and how important that is, because the same message is all the way through.
Oh, absolutely. I have a great staff. We added Curtis Metzger back, which is a big get. And I'm really happy about that, really excited about it. I love him to death. Tommy Spidell, Craig Moore. I mean, those guys are just awesome. Then my defense coordinator, Brian Ryanball, who we were neighbors since I was tiny. And we've been together forever. And it's nice. The kids understand how their coaching styles are, what we demand, and we kind of know what we're thinking. We're not afraid to throw out ideas at any time, and it's just a really nice group of guys and very caring. I love them all. They're just outstanding people.
Can you talk about your preseason or pre-conference schedule before you get into IVC play? I think you start with a couple games at home.
Yes, we open up with St. Thomas Aquinas. That is going to be something that right now is an unknown. They have a new coach, and I don't know who. I don't know much about them right now. And then we have Steubenville Catholic Central, which has lately been quite a rivalry for us. And they have a new coach too, so I'm not quite sure what they're going to offer. And then the scary one, we got to go to Harrison Central, and I know he has a young team, but you're talking a nice, beautiful facility and a tradition there about football, and you just know they're going to be ready to come out and hit and play. Then after that, we have Connaughton Valley, which is going right into another kind of rivalry game for us in the mid-season. So, and then we ended up going to Shadyside and we picked them up, and they're traditionally been a great football program. So we got a nice solid 5 games before we hit the grind of the IVC.
Yeah, and speaking of the IVC, you won a couple games in there last year. The IVC North is good football, and you got to be ready week in and week out. How does that early season schedule prepare you for not only the IVC North, but for the tournament dance?
Well, yeah. The size and the quality of teams that we're playing really prepare us for the Buckeye Trails, the Newcomers Towns, the Malverns, the East Cantons.
Sure.
Those guys are traditionally big football teams. We mostly match up well with Tuskegee Central. So, when we get to that point, if we're healthy, we feel pretty good about ourselves because we've gone through that beast of a line and that push and the physicality of those games. And I'm not saying Central isn't physical. They're very physical. But it isn't the same size of the physicality.
And that prepares you for the tournament dance coming on.
Without a doubt, yeah, because if we didn't play Newcomers Town and East Canton and those teams, it would have been a grind. It was a grind against Lucas, but it would have been a bigger grind against Lucas. And our kids were ready to own the line of scrimmage that night.
When you took over at Strasburg, one of your challenges was building up a roster, adding to your numbers. Watching your team last year, sometimes you just get kids coming out. You look like football players out there on the field. There were some kids that really looked like football players, not just kids going out. How are the numbers this year? You still got a bunch of football players out there?
We do. We have a nice number. We have 28, and we're really happy about that. We have a great group of seniors that are coming in. 7 of those guys that have just been battling for 4 years. I have a good group of juniors that have been playing for a number of games, a number of years. And then my sophomore and freshman group are very talented. They just need that little window, a little bit more experience, and they'll be in the mix just as well as all these others. So I do think we have a good football players, and they're really good people too.
Yeah, Coach, last year you averaged 28.5 points a game. Offensively, you did well. I understand you lost your linebacker, quarterback, running back, kind of Swiss Army knife Gage Moore, but a lot's returning skill-wise. So offensively, averaging 28, talk about that offense coming into 2026.
Well, that's a big piece of the pie. What's even a bigger piece of the pie is the kids that we lost up front.
Sure.
That really took a ding. We have 2 returning seniors that are the only 2 on the line that played last year.
Right.
So we have to fill that spot in. But our skill people are really good, and I'm really happy with how they practice. They have a chance to do some really great things. They just need to keep putting the work in, keep trusting each other, and I think you're going to see some excitement out of these guys.
Good.
What about the stands? You're looking for some excitement out of your fans. They really turned out for your playoff game last year. They really support the teams in Strasburg.
They do. Truthfully, I think a lot of that crowd was from outside our area because every home game or every away game, we're well, attended. We have great backing. They care greatly for the kids. They care greatly for the product that we put out on the field, and they're there to support them at anything. And they have a lot of pride in that town. And I'll give Coach Spinell a little bit of credit here. He came up with our schedule, and at the bottom it says 1 team, 1 town, and that really emphasizes everything that we're about.
Well, Coach, and you're at the head of that ladder, and like I said, you are a guy that people want to be around and be with and coach with. So pulling that together, that community, that tight, that 1 team, 1 family, 1 heartbeat thing, that starts with you. And they're fortunate to have you. You do a phenomenal job up there. You got them going in the right direction. I wish I could get up there to see you a little more, but I got a couple to watch on my own. But as fortunate you are for them, they should be that fortunate to have you up there.
Well, I'm fortunate to be there. I'm fortunate that they want me there. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm sure, time will tell how that goes. But I'm just very fortunate that I have this situation. I'm very fortunate that they believe in what I'm doing, and they're going to back what I do and what we do as a team. And
sure.
And that just makes it really special.
Well, I'll speak for you. They're fortunate to have you.
Well, thank you.
That's Strasburg football coach Jim Morris, brought to you by Niedenthal and Company. Coach, you're the last one on here, so thanks so much for hanging out at Sammy Sue's and joining us here on the Big Z Sports High School Preview Show.
Oh, I love it. I wouldn't miss it. I don't care if I'm last. This is a good thing.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting us into your program. Thanks for letting us come do 2 days. You've always opened it up for us. Let us be a part of it, and we appreciate you giving your time and effort for us.
Always. You guys do a great job. I love it. The kids love it. It's something special that other communities don't have.
All right, thanks to Coach Jim Morris. That's Travis. I'm Bill. Big Z Sports will be back to wrap it up here on our high school football preview show here on Big Z Sports.
Okay, get this. Now at Wendy's, you get to go biggie with new Biggie deals. That means going biggie with the $4 Biggie Bites, Biggier with the $6 Biggie Bag, or Biggiest with an $8 Biggie Bundle. So now you can choose and customize your Biggie deal. As you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More Biggie options so you can get more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Altman Health System has been caring for our community for over 130 years. This includes 24/7 emergency services, heart care, surgery, orthopedics, radiology, cancer care, and more. We serve 7 counties with community locations, including Altman Hospital, Altman Alliance Community Hospital, Altman Maslin, Altman Orville Hospital, Altman Tuscaroras Regional Health, and more. Altman Health System. Today, tomorrow, and always. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Wrapping up the Big Z Sports 2026 High School Football Preview Show, brought to you by Altman Health Systems and the Kind Company. And Chris Gale, Roger Metzger, and Adam Saweski wrapping things up. And guys, just got to give a shout out to Bailey, our waitress.
Man, she was super.
She was awesome tonight.
Yeah,
she worked her butt off.
It was funny. It's you never know what to expect at these, and it seemed like tonight, which they're more than welcome to come whenever. But everybody showed up right at the beginning. Yeah. And I'm like, instantly, obviously, we try to keep track of who's coming to get them on so they're not sitting here, even though they're enjoying themselves. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking about Bailey. I'm like, oh my
goodness, yeah.
But she killed it.
She
absolutely
did a great
killed
job.
it.
Everybody at Sammy Sue's Barbecue tonight did an outstanding job. We can't thank Chris and Sam enough for allowing us to do this. We talked about it earlier. This is probably getting close to 7-8 years maybe that we've done the preview show from here.
Yes.
Like it's been a lot.
It's
a staple right now.
It's been such a staple that if you remember when we had new banners made, the original banner we had, we gave it to them.
Yep. Yeah,
so,
I do remember that.
I mean, that's...
we've been here on the patio. We've been fortunate enough, thankfully, to have good weather.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes are the size of pterodactyls tonight, though.
Oh, really? I haven't noticed them. Well, they must like you and must like your blood or something.
That's because I'm sweet.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
It just went there.
Well, I mean, that's usually what it is. Listen, you yelled at me earlier. I can get the sweet thing in now.
This is the preview for everything.
It is. I think, Roger, the quote from Adam was, "You're like a toddler." I think that's
he called you a toddler?
He did.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
I got to pick on him. No, I was kind of being juvenile, but it's okay. It was a joke, and he didn't get the joke because he was upset.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's all right.
Good. Hey, listen, in all seriousness, like I said, Bailey did a great job. We appreciate everybody here at Sammy Sue's, everybody that was back there cooking dinners and making sure these coaches had, a great evening. It's always great to be able to get these coaches together. Me and Logan talked about it earlier. And, Buddy White and Storm are sitting over there talking, and they play each other in week 4.
Yeah.
And it's that's just unheard of in any other, with any other sporting group. We get these guys together, and they really seem to, and it's not just about football. It's about, hey, what'd the family do?
Sure.
Did you guys have a good summer?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And we are so blessed to have great coaches, and we're sorry for the coaches that weren't able to make it tonight. we did miss you guys, and hopefully, you'll be at the wrap-up show. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk to you on a Friday night.
Did we miss John Slusser?
Well, I mean, we didn't miss his 3-hour wrap-up of last year.
There was a little.
No, we did miss John Slusser.
I guess there was a little bit of miscommunication, but that was we nipped that in the butt real quick.
Listen,
but I just told him, and I did not send the text. Miss Holbrook sent the text and just said, it said to him, be prepared for week 1.
Yeah, well.
Because, as long as the Generals come out on top, we're going to be talking to him in week 1.
Right. But listen, the bottom line is we would have just had to hear tonight about how terrible Ridgewood's going to be.
Yeah, that's true. I've been through that before. I've been there, done that. Yes, exactly.
They even had to. They didn't have enough kids. They had to pull up 7th graders.
They might not win the game this year.
They will not win a game. That's what we would have had to endure.
It's kind of like he was here. We just did it.
We just wrapped it up.
We just did the preview.
Brought to you by ClaxonSports.com.
Brought to you by ClaxonSports.com. And speaking of Claxon, the boss is
Oh
here.
man.
Listen, Casey does such a great job. The production and where his production crew and his businesses went the last 4 or 5 years just has taken what we are able to do to an entirely different level.
Yes.
It started, several years ago, when you guys partnered up, and what we've been able to accomplish wouldn't be possible without Casey and his crew, and we appreciate him and everybody that he employs
absolutely.
so much. And Natalie is always, she's one of our ride or dies, right?
Yeah.
She we give her so much grief, and she keeps coming back for more. Why, I don't know, but she does, and she does such a great job.
I can sum it up very quickly. If it wasn't for what they did, we wouldn't have 50 games in the regular season.
That's for sure.
There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
And we can't thank all of our sponsors enough, and all the people that, especially the listeners and the viewers that tune in. We're not sitting here, giving our opinions about things and talking to coaches if it's not for you guys and all the great sponsors that, put their neck out and trust us and trust what we've built over the last 12 to 15 years.
Correct.
And, especially with Altman Health Systems and Kind Company for sponsoring tonight here at Sammy Sue's Barbecue. To all the coaches that were able to be here, we appreciate each and every one of you for taking that time out. We know you could be home with your families. We know that you could be probably wrapping up a practice, but you decided to come out here and talk about your team with us tonight and eat some great Sammy Sue's Barbecue, and we appreciate it. Everybody who took a part in what Big Z Sports is, from Mary Alice and everybody that does their stuff back in the studio, to Logan, to Nick, to Roger and you. I mean, what you do is incredible on the sales side and everything else. You and Mandy and your sales team just do an incredible job. Of course, Nick and, like I said, Bill Hammerstrom, Bill Morgan, Travis, Joe, everybody that has a part in what we do. We just appreciate it so much.
And we're ready to go for another season.
The band is back together. The dynamic trio will be coming at you on the Big Z Sports Radio Network live at 5 o'clock on Friday.
Absolutely.
Not this Friday. Next Friday.
So until then,
that's it from Sammy Sue's.
Get prepared.
Get prepared. Be ready to go. High school football coming at you. We'll see you on Friday, folks.
Thanks for watching this Claxon Communications production of High School Sports on the Big Z Sports YouTube channel. For the latest news and scores, follow Big Z Sports on Facebook, on Twitter at @Big_Z Sports, and on Instagram. Don't miss any of the live stream coverage all season long by simply subscribing for free to Big Z Sports on our YouTube channel. For the best in high school sports coverage, there is only one Big Z Sports.